Hey everybody, Lou Pickney here. We're have a 15-minute later start time than normal because of the heat index down on the field. If you're in Middle Tennessee, you probably know it firsthand. It's been a very unseasonably hot week. It was close to a record high for today. So that's a 15-minute delay, 7:15 Central Time. Father Ryan versus JP2. Can the Irish recapture the Bishop's Cup? We'll find out here starting in about 15 minutes. Good evening from the campus of Father Ryan High School, Giacosa Stadium, where tonight Father Ryan Irish play host to the Pope John Paul II High School Knights out of Hendersonville with the Bishop's Cup on the line. Hello, everybody. Lou Pickney, and from behind the Crest, Tyler Fernandez and Tyler. For the Irish, it was a heartbreaker last year in overtime. 2 years ago, it was a bogus, in my opinion, pass interference call that set up a winning touchdown with 4 seconds to go for JP2. Tonight, Father Ryan tries to recapture the Bishop's Cup here on its home surface here in South Nashville. The game was delayed by 15 minutes due to the heat index. I realize some of you were in the area watching locally, and then some from literally around the world. I know because I hear from you, and I appreciate you all tuning into this Father Ryan broadcast. The reason I mentioned this, though, is that it's been very hot, even by hot southern standards or whatever. Temperatures in the high 90s today, and so Tyler's understanding there's a 15-minute delay, and so we're now going to get things going here in just a moment or two if we get the captains for Father Ryan out there for the coin toss.
And, well, Lou, I think this is probably the most important game right here if you're Father Ryan, because if you're in a drought for maybe like 3 or 4 years, I think it's now time for them to recapture. Because I feel like tonight that it has to be an all-team game, because that's the only way you're going to win, because Father Ryan needs to be dominant on both sides of the ball. And I'm saying this because remember that we had a little problem against Baylor, but I think now, since they've practiced and they now understand of the plays that need to be run and the defense and special teams, offense, all that, I think that they have a chance at this JP2 squad.
Of course, Father Ryan beat JP2 in the playoffs 2 years ago, but as far as Bishop's Cup games with a cup on the line, it's been JP2. And Father Ryan had dominated the series up until that point, only losing twice before. Now on a 3-game losing skid in cup games. Captains for Father Ryan out there along with Pope John Paul II High School.
Yeah, this is probably going to be one of the biggest games of the year that you'll probably ever see, because if you're Father Ryan, you want to win because there are 9 seniors on the team.
Sorry not to jump in there on you, but it's just seeing them about to do the coin flip. But you're right, it's going to take a team effort against this JP2 team. See JP2 taking the field on the far side. Blue helmets, white jerseys with blue numerals, white pants. For the Irish, white helmets, purple jerseys, white numbers.
I had a little trouble hearing what was going on, so probably when the kickoff happens, we'll figure out who will toss.
Well, here's what happened. JP2 won the coin toss and deferred, so Father Ryan will be receiving the kickoff to start the game.
Yeah, this is very important because remember what happened last year. I'm sorry, not last year, last game, that Father Ryan was given nice field position. They were pretty much, Baylor was being generous to them in field position. I feel like it's now our turn to take advantage of the field position and go down the field and score points, whether it's a field goal or a touchdown.
See the Irish marching band out there getting things set up as Father Ryan's football team is ready to take the field. Last week, a loss for Father Ryan against Baylor, while Crest, I think it's the first time ever for Crest actually play at JP2. The Memphis schools are mixed in. Father Ryan and JP2, if you can believe this, are in different divisions. With Knox Catholic coming in, they've redone things. And so it's still Division II AAA, but nonetheless, in the West for JP2 and the East for Father Ryan, as I understand it, that will rotate over the years. That's why we don't get to play NBA this year. And I know there are a lot of alumni unhappy about that, but that wasn't something either school had a say in. It was a very late thing. Here come the Irish.
Here we go. I'm excited for this game, man. This is going to be an exciting game tonight, man. I can tell.
Looks like a strong turnout, not surprisingly so, for this rivalry game. As noted, the Bishop's Cup on the line was last year, the game on local TV over at JP2 in overtime. Heartbreak for the Irish in that encounter. So it was JP2 winning the opening coin toss, deferring, and then obviously the Knights will receive the ball to start the second half. 2 weeks ago for JP2, playing against Lipscomb Academy, they gave former NFL quarterback Trent Dilfer his first loss as a high school football head coach. Lipscomb led that game 14-0. And to their credit, JP2 fought back into it, kind of flipped things around. And before you knew it, they ended up winning 33-14. So quite the turn of events there. Looking over some of the stats for Father Ryan, you got to think one of the keys to this game, minimizing turnovers. On the season, you're looking at 10 turnovers for Father Ryan versus 2 for the opposition. I mean, overall, Father Ryan's got more total yards than the opponents they faced. They're competitive as far as with passing yardage and all that. But
I can agree with you on that because I think that's very important. And you saw what happened last game against Baylor, that they turned over the ball way too many times, and that ended up being points.
And that set up Baylor very early. Father Ryan had a fumble on his first or second play from scrimmage, and then Baylor was able to punch it in. And Father Ryan, I tell you, for being down as much as they were at the half, they came out of that halftime break and definitely came out ready to fight. They certainly didn't fold it in, but Baylor ultimately victorious, and that was the first Division II AAA game of the season for Father Ryan. This will be the second here against JP2. It's a packed house. See the stands opposite us. Got a lot of the Pope John Paul II high school supporters over there. It'll be Andrew Southard kicking off. He's their backup kicker normally, but he's got a strong leg. I believe it was a 50-yard field goal against Brentwood High in a scrimmage, but still, you can do that in anything, and that's impressive, especially at the high school level.
And absolutely, I think it's letting you know something, that Father Ryan's defense cannot allow JP2 to get into field goal range with that kicker. Oh man, that's actually pretty impressive for a high school kicker kicking 50+ yards.
And we are underway here in South Nashville at Giacosa Stadium. Kickoff fielded at the 1, to the 10, to the 15, makes a cut to the near side, past the 20, tries to get to this near corner, spun around, finally dropped around the 24-yard line. So it's Aiden Nelson doing a double take there. I was trying to read his number. It's tough from that angle to see if is that really Aiden Nelson out there, and sure enough it was. So
yes.
Talk about Aiden Nelson, one of the younger players asked to help out with this Father Ryan team. Just a freshman. Father Ryan last week against Baylor had 2 freshman defensive backs in for quite a bit of that third quarter. So from 1st and 10 from they'll say the 26-yard line, this is going to be a handoff. And Jaden Robinson tries to does cut back past the 30. Again, keeps his balance. This is going to be an ankle tackle, and he'll have about a 6 or 7 yard gain by the time it's all said and done.
There you go. That was a nice start right there. Jaden Robinson making some cuts, making the JP2 defenders miss. So that's a nice start if you're Coach Tavu and Coach Rector for Father Ryan.
2nd and 3, 7-yard gain for Robinson on the run. Just underway here on Father Ryan's campus. The Irish and the Knights facing off. The Bishop's Cup is on the line, so going under center. Double tight end look. Tabscott with 13 seconds on the play clock looks to the sideline. This is not usual for Father Ryan in this scenario. They're going to hand it to Jaden Robinson again. He's going to lose yards, it looks like. Spun out around the 32-yard line, maybe a 1-yard loss. Sometimes you'll see Tabscott go under center when it's like a goal line situation or it's a 4th and short, they try to sneak it. There's a different wrinkle they throw into the offense this week. You see Parker Erdman into the game.
Yeah, Parker Erdman is probably one of their most, if not better, receivers on this squad because of his speed. I think he's going to probably be one of the most valuable receivers, and I think he's going to be amazing with yards after catch because that speed, ooh, man, one wrong move and he's gone.
4 receivers, 3 to the far side for the Irish. It's 3rd and 5 out of the gun. Tabscott sends Robinson, fakes the screen, throws the other side screen, incomplete, intended for Parker Erdman. And even if Erdman had hauled it in, there were a couple of JP2 defenders there and sniffed it out. So it's going to be a presumable punting situation for Father Ryan, a 3-and-out.
Yeah, it's probably not what you need right now if you're Father Ryan. So it's now up to the defense of Father Ryan, which did pretty well for themselves and have gotten some stops over the games. But this is probably the most important time that the defense needs to be ready and come out to play against this JP2 offense.
Zach Wesnowski, as the referee, gives the signal, raising the roof to reset the play clock. Wesnowski to punt, and it'd be number 1, Brendan Keaton, standing at his own 35, set to return. High skying punt. Going to bounce, take an Irish roll past the 25. Keep on rolling inside the 20. Nice special teams play for Father Ryan's going to set up JP2 at their own 15-yard line.
Yeah, nice punt by Wozniacki, pinning JP2 deep. That's what you want if you're this Father Ryan special teams and defense. And you can tell they are hyped and they are ready to go against this JP2 offense.
Key for both teams, establishing the run and then trying to stop the run on the other side. The Irish, that's when they've had success this season. It's been running the ball. Didn't have as much luck against Baylor. They're going to try and get that going. But on the flip side, for a JP2, as we have still 20 seconds on the play clock. Again, the 40-second play clock this year gives a few different advantages to teams trying to read the situation. Double tight end set. They'll send Brooks Haggerty over to the far side. Father Ryan brings pressure. Throw complete. It'll be close to a first down. So it was Haggerty.
Yep.
Haggerty, who had the game-tying touchdown in regulation last year, forced overtime in the game that JP2 ultimately won. 1st and 10 Knights. 10:25 to go first quarter. No score. Father Ryan and JP2. Quarterback Sawyer Watts. Watts last year played receiver. Had a pretty good game against the Irish as well, but with former quarterback Nixon now graduated, it's Watts ends. They're going to bring Keaton in motion to the near side. They run a lot of motion to the Knights. It's going to be a handoff. Watch out for Roberts if he gets outside. Antoine Roberts, can they bring him down and finally do it? But after a 13-yard gain, Roberts is tough to stop.
Yeah, I feel like for Father Ryan's defense, they need to keep him in the middle because once he busts the outside, ooh, boy. Here he goes for probably a big gain and a lot more of what we saw just right now.
Out of a pistol formation. Now we have a slowdown. Again, 20 seconds in the play clock, so not under duress as far as play clock time goes. 9:40 to go first quarter. No score from the 38, 1st and 10 for JP2. Another handoff to Roberts, cutting through to 2 or 3 Irish defenders to bring him down.
Yeah, that's probably what you need to do if you're this Irish defense is keep him in the middle. And what we saw right there for a little bit of a gain right there.
So Edmondson, number 31, saw him on this near side. There's a couple of defenders. Roberts is tough, no doubt about it. But they're a 3-yard gain, 2nd and 7. It's a 2nd and 8 on the scoreboard, so call it what you will. JP2 must make it to their own 48-yard line to get a first down.
You're in a little wildcat formation.
And again, they're going to bring receiver in motion.
Bumbo.
Ball's dropped under by Antoine Roberts, but look out, Roberts could turn nothing into something significant. He gets the first down, finally forced it out of bounds to the 43. That's not the way JP2 drew it up to get Roberts outside the tackles, but it worked, and it's a first down for the Knights.
Yeah, William Edmondson right there on the tackle.
Edmondson asked a lot of him playing free safety. Again, last week got a couple of freshmen in there at cornerback. Father Ryan, we get Parker Urban in there at corner, but he plays offense as well. You got to give him a chance to catch his breath at some point. So 1st and 10 JP2. This is their first play inside Father Ryan territory tonight. Just underway, 8:50 to go first quarter, no score. Father Ryan and JP2. And so out of the pistol, they'll send Keaton to this near side. Rick's going to hand it off. Antoine Roberts. Irish got him that time. See Anthony Wright in there is one of the defenders. 2 or 3, though. It's going to take, we talked about in the pregame, you brought up the team effort. That clearly is going to be the case for Father Ryan, having to try and contain the very dangerous Antoine Roberts. You got to watch Watts, though. He's the threat to run as well. Part of that comeback that JP2 had against Lipscomb 2 weeks ago was in part because Watts had a couple of long runs. So on 2nd and 6.
Yep. You need to avoid these long runs against Roberts, number 44, because he can be very dangerous, like I said earlier, when he gets the outside. So Father Ryan needs to keep him in the middle.
James Wright, H-back went to that far side. It's Roberts running close to the first down marker. Depends on the spot. Less than 8 minutes to go here in this first quarter. We get a flag.
Ooh.
So that's after the play. We'll see it's the first penalty of the game for either team. Penalties have plagued Father Ryan this season. Although that's been one of the false starts, things of that nature. We'll see that appears to be a dead ball. Ball spotted at the 32, which I think would give him a first down. The flag is picked up. We'll see. Personal foul against Father Ryan. So JP2 will get the ball from the 32-yard line down to now the Irish 17. That'll be the first red zone opportunity for either team tonight.
Yeah, it's probably a penalty you probably do not want to take. So I don't know if it was maybe a little bit of frustration or all that. That should not have happened for Father Ryan. And now JP2's in the red zone, plus 15 after the run.
We'll say the 18-yard line on this 1st and 10. They keep looking to the side. Again, this has changed things. This play clock, 40 seconds. It's quite a bit of time. Now, granted, they start that clock running after the play. It's not the ball setting in 25 seconds, but I don't care. I've already seen it happen firsthand. It's changed things a bit. So out of the pistol, Watts going to send Wright, the H-back up, try and make a hole for Roberts. Antoine Roberts tackled for a 3 or 4 yard gain. Looks like Anthony Wright on the stop.
And Roberts, man, you have to watch out for him. Father Ryan needs to be aware of him at all times because he's like Saquon Barkley on a motorcycle. If he gets the outside, he is going to be very dangerous out there.
It was particularly the second half against Lipscomb. Lipscomb for the first half contained Roberts. The second half he managed to break out, had a pair of touchdowns for JP2. So on this 2nd and 5, it's going to be a QB keeper to the near side thrown to the ground by Anthony Wright. It was Sawyer Watts. I noted he's a threat to run. We saw it right there, but a good play by Father Ryan defense to stymie him there. It looks like the 12-yard line.
All right, if you're Father Ryan on 3rd down, you need to get a stop and just hold him to a field goal right here.
See Urban come to the sideline as Father Ryan brings in some bulk. And one receiver way out far on that far side, and that's Rory White. 2 years ago, he had a monster game against Father Ryan. That was as a sophomore, now as a senior. Looking at man coverage way out there on that far side. Otherwise, it's bunched up with an H-back and a receiver to the near side. Me a handoff. Antoine Roberts trying to power through. Still turning his legs. He'll be down. He has the first down, but down on the 2-yard line. So JP2, this methodical drive, knocking on the door here against Father Ryan. 6:25 to go first quarter, no score. See Beacom get back into the game. Torrey Herron, you want Herron in there at nose tackle. He's young, but he's got size. Quick play there by JP2. Is it a whistle? They're trying to catch Father Ryan napping.
That might be a little illegal substitution.
A dead ball.
Offside.
Encroachment against Father Ryan. So half the distance to the goal. Instead of 1st and goal from the 3, it'll be 1st and goal from the 1.5.
Yeah, it's probably not what you want to have happen. If you see JP2 get the snap, I don't blame them. They were trying to run out really quickly, but JP2 was able to get the ball off a little bit faster. So I think that's probably what caused the encroachment.
Might have been a blessing in disguise for Father Ryan. I don't know the Irish were ready. And with 9 seconds on the play clock, they're handed off Antoine Roberts. No, it's going to be a keeper into the end zone. Touchdown JP2. Sawyer Watts from 1.5 yards out. And the Knights strike first here tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of a play fake right there. You know, the fake and like Marcus Mariota run. That's what we saw right there at the play fake to Roberts and Watts keeping it in and taking it in for 6.
So the first score of the game, and JP2, think about it, they had that long drive. They started inside with their own 15-yard line, an 85-yard methodical drive. Father Ryan did themselves no favor with that personal foul penalty. And so it'll be Andrew Sallard again kicking. He's not, as I understand it, their normal place kicker, but tonight he is. High spinning kick, and it's good. So we can keep here talking about what we just saw. 5:53 to go first quarter. Now JP2 leading Father Ryan 7-0. So the Irish, after going 3 and out, they punt the ball. A nice punt within 85 yards for the Knights, and they strike first here in this rivalry game, the Bishop's Cup on the line.
Yeah, this is very important drive right here if you're Coach Tavu and the offense, because you do not want to go 3 and out again against this JP squad. And we saw their dangerous running and with Watts and Roberts. So it's very important that Father Ryan punches this one into the end zone.
And it's the freshman Aiden Nelson back on that far side, set to return the kickoff with Parker Erdman, the junior, on the near side. Looks like a water break. In this game, something to keep in mind, heat and humidity. Again, we delayed the game 15 minutes because the heat index on the field was dangerously high. Still high 80 degrees right now. Not a whole lot of breeze to help things out along with that. And so it's inevitably you're going to run across players cramping up, but it's especially a risk tonight with these very warm temperatures here in South Nashville.
Yeah, so you're probably maybe going to expect a lot of substitutions between both of these teams. Just try to keep them rested and avoid cramping.
So the Knights will kick off for the second time. Their first kickoff made it nearly to the end zone. That's when Nelson fielded at the 1 and brought out past the 20. And again, if the ball crosses the plane of the goal line, it's an automatic touchback. It's the rule in high school football. And so again, it's going to be who I thought was their backup kicker, Andrew Southard. A spinning kick fielded at the 3 to the 10 to the 15. Parker Urban past the 20, tries to cut it back far side. Tries to break an ankle tackle, unable to do so, finally stopped near the 25. Good effort. I'll say Cook on the stop. Jackson Cook for JP2. 1st and 10, Father Ryan, 5:44 to go first quarter. The Knights lead the Irish 7-0. Father Ryan now going for its second offensive possession of the game. And we see Antonio Wright in there at running back. It was Jaden Robinson who started, but talk about rotating in fresh bodies. So 1st and 10, out of the, I'll go back under center again. Not what you normally see from this Father Ryan team. Clearly, strategy here is a play fake. Tabscott throws near side complete. Matthew Beacom tries to break a tackle past the 50. You're the screaming in there in the next room. A nice play by Father Ryan. The play fake works. Connects to Matthew Beacom. Tries to bowl over defender. First down Irish. They move the ball into the Knights' territory around the 48th, we'll say.
That was probably one of the most perfect plays that I have seen against this JP2 squad. Now, granted, it was only the first passing play, but this is obviously probably one of the best plays I've seen. A nice play by Tabscott and Beacom. Both guys on the same page. And Beacom, man, he continued to rumble even after the catch.
I guess there's some question as Christian Smith has to come to the sideline. Richard Bryant, number 89, comes into this near side. Josh Pfeiffer up on that far side of receiver. Again, under center with an I formation. Antonio Wright on the run. He made it back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard gain. JP2 was ready for him there.
Yeah, I feel like with the bounce to the outside, we saw with JP2's running back, I think now if Antonio Wright bounces this to the outside, I think it's going to be trouble for this defense, keeping them on their heels.
So the Irish Cole Becker in as an H-back. He was utilizing that form as well a lot last week. 2nd and 9. Tabscott throwing for Pfeiffer on that far side. Overthrown, but there's a defender there step for step for JP2, Brandon Shockley. Got a 6'2 junior out there. Pfeiffer tried to get separation and able to do so. And now it's 3rd and 9 for Father Ryan. 4:47 to go first quarter. JP2 leading Father Ryan 7-0.
Yeah, this is a very big, important 3rd down conversion right here if you're Father Ryan, because you do not want to punt the ball and give JP2 the ball back and allow them to drive down on the field and score again. We don't want the same situation that they had against Baylor, going down big early.
Becker comes to the sideline. Now they get Christian Smith into the game, along with Bryant. They're going to move Matthew Beacom, tight end for blocking purposes, you would think, over to that far side. Tabscott, rainbow throw, Christian Smith, and it falls incomplete. Got a lot of air into that one. Just a little off. Good play call. Smith was about as open as you'll ever see a receiver on that far side, but just not quite able to connect. So 4th and 9 for Father Ryan from the JP2 48-yard line.
It looks like they're opting to go for it.
They're going to line up for it. This may be a pooch punt.
You never know.
We've seen that before from various quarterbacks for the last few years for Father Ryan, most recently Seamus O'Connell. Tabscott's proven he can do that as well. Hard count. Now he'll step back, and I think you know what's about to come here. Indeed, the pooch punt. It's going to hit at the 15, rolling past the 10 to the 5, and it rolls into the end zone. Close, but not quite. So it's a touchback, and it'll be 1st and 10 for JP2 from their own 20-yard line.
So if you're Coach Privet and this defense, you need to get a big stop right here against this JP2 offense, because what we saw from the first drive is that they can run the football. So I think it is very important for Father Ryan to acquire Antoine Roberts and Sawyer Watts as well, because those two are both dangerous runners.
I mentioned Watts played wide receiver last year for this Knights team. So Watts out of the shotgun with 21 seconds on the play clock. This thing JP2 will take a look at what Father Ryan's got lined up. look to the sideline, and with 15 seconds on the play clock, see a full moon out tonight on Friday the 13th. Take of that as you will. They stopped the clock with 4:32 to go here in this first quarter. Like I said, it was stopped after the touchback. But they reset the play clock to 25. They moved the ball over to this near side, that near hash, because the ball, where it went into the end zone, it was on this near side. So they finally have it properly set up. 3 receivers, 2 to the far side for JP2 in this 1st and 10, 4:32 to go here in this first quarter. And again, it keeps throwing me off as they look to the sideline, thinking there's a timeout or water break or something, and no live action. We're live, pal. 13 seconds on the play clock. It's really more of a 4-receiver look. It's going to be a throw by Watts. That far side incomplete. It was a good idea as far as the play went. Yeah, Rory White. And you would imagine JP2 will do what they can to get the ball in his hands, kind of what Father Ryan does with Parker Erdman.
I mean, that wasn't a good idea for JP2 to throw a little bit of a screen pass with him in motion. Just didn't work out. The ball was just a little bit overthrown by Watts, and White was not able to catch it.
Rory White received that far side. Keaton on the near side on the 2nd and 10. 14 seconds on the play clock. And out of the pistol formation, it's going to be Watts handing it off to Antoine Roberts, bounced off a couple of tacklers. And what really should have been a no gain, he turns into 3 or 4 yards. Just the strength. And Roberts is only a junior. So he's been impressive. We've seen some good running backs this season, going up against this Father Ryan defense. But certainly Roberts has shown early he has the capacity to make nothing into something. So 3rd and 7 coming up.
Yeah, big stop right here if this Irish defense. Force a 3-and-out right here against this JP2 squad. Forced them to punt and hopefully get the ball in great field position for Father Ryan. Jacob
Lamb, number 24, the receiver to this near side. 3-receiver look on 3rd and 7. Send that H back up. That's Haggerty. Watts looks to that far side. Throws completing it out of the hands of White. Would have had the first down, incomplete.
But that was a nice slant route right there by Rory White, number 15, and unfortunately it wasn't there, and that's what you want if you're this Irish defense, is to force a 3-and-out against this JP2 offense. And with how far deep they are, I think Father Ryan's going to get nice field position.
You might notice James Reed was in there. He did not play last week. Father Ryan with a couple of freshman corners in. Definitely, because Reed's not that old himself, only a sophomore, played some last season. So it'll be a punt now on 4th and 7. As the Irish defense holds, Parker Erdman has his own 45, a high skying punt. Erdman gets away from it. It's going to take a JP2 bounce inside the Irish 35, going toward the sideline. Now rolls back for Father Ryan's way. JP2 basically gave away a free yard there. Goes to be stopped at the 34-yard line. That's where Father Ryan will begin his 3rd offensive possession of this game.
It's going to be another one of these important drives because the defense did its job and got the stop that Coach Privet wanted. So I think now it's up to the offense now to take advantage of the generous field position, like we saw last week with Baylor special teams giving Father Ryan nice yardage to start out with, just didn't finish drives. I think this is very important for Father Ryan to finish this drive, either with a touchdown or a field goal, but mainly you want a touchdown in this situation.
5 for the receiver to the far side, Smith to the near side. Cole Decker in for blocking purposes. Tapscott's going to roll near side. Throws complete. Catch made. Be close to the first down marker, depends on the spot. Nice reception by Parker Erdman, and it will move the chains.
Nice play by Parker Erdman to turn around and catch the ball while sliding down. So we know that Parker Erdman's got some skill as wide receiver.
This is more the conventional offense. We got a flag that just got thrown in. 23 seconds on the play clock. So we'll see what this penalty is. That's going to be against Father Ryan. False start. I mentioned this earlier, and I know the coaches are acutely aware of it. I mean, it's tough enough to win in Division II AAA, even more so when you're giving away basically 5 yards for nothing. So 1st and 15 now from the Irish at their own 40.
Yeah, this has been the problem for Father Ryan these last few weeks. Taking penalties that they should not be taking. In this case, false starts are probably the main problem right now.
Timothy Lark, number 3 for JP2, bodied up real close to Christian Smith, the receiver on this near side. Tapscott reset out of a pistol to hand it off to Jaden Robinson, Robinson tries to get a cut to the outside. He'll have maybe a 2-yard gain.
And Jaden Robinson, we know that both Antonio Wright and also mainly sometimes Anthony Wright comes in for possibly running back purposes, and looks like we're going to see that here.
Yeah, you called it. There's Anthony Wright, number 15, plays outside linebacker primarily, but he will spell his brother and Jaden Robinson in there in that rotation at running back. 2nd and 13, 2:39 to go, first quarter. JP2 leading 7-0. Deep pass down that far sideline, and a vicious hit. It's incomplete.
Ooh. Oh, man.
Pfeiffer looks to be okay. It's a hard hit. It's not like the cheap shot we saw last year that Seamus took. A hard hit, though, but that's life as a football player. But, Pfeiffer gets up okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. And right now, Coach is probably not happy with what just happened right there, because that was probably a dirty and unsafe hit. I mean, there probably should have been maybe a flag. But
they didn't throw it, though. I can't second-guess the refs from up here, though. I mean, they were there to see it. It was a hard hit, but, it's a bang-bang play.
I mean, I don't blame Coach one bit for being upset, because I think, in my opinion, that was a penalty, because pretty much Pfeiffer wasn't expecting it to happen. So
4 receivers for the Irish on this 3rd and 13. They need to get to the 45-yard line of JP2 to get a first down. And it's going to be a keeper. DC Tabscott to the 50, spun around to be about 5 yards shy of the yardage needed. Now an interesting decision coming up for Father Ryan. 4th and 5 from the 50. If you get JP2 to move into the neutral zone with a hard count, you would get a free first down, essentially. Or they could go for it. There's a few options. We've seen with Coach Rector and this Father Ryan team not afraid to roll the dice. Nobody back to return a punt for JP2. So we could see a repeat of what we saw earlier from Tabscott. It's 3 receivers in that hard count. Yeah, we're trying to see if they're going to get JP2 to move into the neutral zone. They're not biting. 12 seconds on the play clock. And now this is going to be the punt. Tabscott steps back and it's a pooch punt. I'm surprised nobody was back for JP2. It'll bounce at the 20, take an Irish roll inside the 15. Down is the guy for JP2 trying to pick it up. That would have been very ill-advised. As the Brandon Shockley over there. I mean, I appreciate the effort to get there, but in a situation like that as a returner, you got to be careful. But it goes out of bounds. Nice punt, though, by Tabscott. And again, difficult starting field position for JP2.
Yeah, that's right. And that was another situation that 3 punts that have resulted, pretty much 2 out of the 3 resulted in JP2 starting deep in their own territory. So if you're this Father Ryan defense, you need a repeat of what you did the last time you were up against this JP2 offense.
2 receivers on this 1st and 10. They'll say the ball officially at the JP2 12-yard line. That's where the Knights will begin this offensive possession. Late in this first quarter, the Knights leading the Irish 7-0. So I have a pistol formation. They're going to send Keaton in motion to the near side. Be a handoff. Antoine Roberts, look out if he can kick to the outside. Irish make a stop, but that was a very dangerous play for Father Ryan. If he breaks through there, he may go to the house.
Yeah, I think we kind of saw him stumble a little bit on that play, so that was a nice break for the Irish, allowing them to get there. I believe Anthony Wright was there on the tackle, so that's what you need to do with this Father Ryan defense. It's hold him to pretty much little to no gain at all.
See Cade Marino, number 4 in on this near side receiver for JP2. Joined over there by Jacob Land. And again, motion. JP2 learns a lot of motion. It's a pitch play. They get it to the outside there.
And Father Ryan was ready for that one.
And so it was Rory White. Again, as noted, they try and get the ball in his hands however they can. Jet sweeps or tosses, pitches, whatever they can. On that play, though, nice job by Father Ryan to kind of sniff it out. So William Edmondson in there. And now there's a 7-second difference between the play clock and the game clock. So we get at least one more play. Father Ryan, a late substitution. Jackson Brown comes in. Cole Becker to the sideline.
Yeah, it's a big 3rd down stop right here if you're Father Ryan.
I mentioned the freshman corner. Yeah, Poppy Sharp, the freshman in there, number 84 on this near side, with a senior Rory White on this 3rd and 6. It's a throw complete. Rory White on this near side, first down. Forearm shiver to Sharp. Edmondson had to hold Sharp back, thankfully so. I mean, it's easy for tensions to get high, especially on a hot night like this in this rivalry game. A nice play, though, by JP2. Clearly they saw the senior, up there against the freshman. Cut the route off, got the first down. Be 1st and 10 for JP2 from their own 30-yard line. They're going to wind run out of bounds, so they won't wind the clock. 20 seconds on the play clock. There'll be at least one more play this first quarter. 3 receivers, 2 to the far side. And they'll bring Rory White in motion. It's a handoff. Antoine Roberts up the middle. He'll be close to a first down. The final play of the first quarter. They're going to spot, looks like the JP2 41-yard line. And that will be it for the first quarter. So after 1 here at Giacosa Stadium, your score, Pope John Paul II High School 7, Father Ryan 0. We'll be right back with more Father Ryan football here on ATW Sportscast. So we're getting ready to start the second quarter here at Giacosa Stadium. Lou Pickney with you, along with from behind the crest, Tyler Fernandez. And right now in the stands, they're having a collection here, Relay for Life, where something Father Ryan does every year. Talk about cancer touches almost everybody's family to one degree or another, but celebrating the people that have beaten the disease. This is the Relay for Life. So big event coming up, though, on Sunday. It's this Sunday, 6 to 9. The Father Ryan Dining Hall, $15 a person, $45 for a family or more. So you get the bulk savings there. But live music, food, prize drawings, etc. So money for a good cause. It should be a good time.
Yes. And we are the largest in the pretty much in the nation doing this big project of Relay for Life, raising money for cancer. So I think that the Relay for Life that Father Ryan did was a great idea. And last year we raised over $200,000 last year. So a lot of that money went for cancer research and also finding cures to cure probably some of the most deadly diseases in our country.
So we'll start the second quarter. JP2 leading Father Ryan 7-0. A score update. Briar Crest 14, NBA 7. I've read that NBA's put in made some substitutions there to try and mix things up. So on 1st and 10 to start things off here in this second quarter, JP2 starts with the ball at their own 41-yard line. Thus far, JP2 has been able to run the ball rather effectively with Antoine Roberts. That opening drive for JP2 all the way into the Irish end zone. But nothing more as far as points go since then. It's going to be a receiver in motion, White. They're going to hand it off to Antoine Roberts. Irish are ready for that, maybe a 1-yard gain at best. That's a play that I saw them have some success with on tape against, I believe, Lipscomb, that they've used multiple times. They'll send either White or Keaton in motion to fake the jet sweep and hand it off to Roberts. You got to pick your poison. If you're a linebacker, do you go outside, you buy the fake. So 2nd and 9, just underway here in the second quarter.
It looks like we got a little bit of a wildcat formation with Roberts up top.
Well, it's funny because they don't run the ball as far as conventional running backs besides Roberts. He does a lot for this JP2 offense. So out of the wildcat on 2nd and 9.
Yeah, and right now you see Watts at the top of your screen.
And it's a fake jet sweep. We got a whistle, though. There's maybe a penalty against JP2. You would think so. So it was a false start against JP2. So instead of 2nd and 9, it becomes 2nd and 14.
Well, that's what happens when you try to be a little aggressive on these trick plays. That sometimes that you're so aggressive in trying to catch the defense is napping that one of the offensive line jumped before the snap. And I think that's what happened there. They're
going to go with Roberts again out of that wildcat formation. And Sawyer Watson, a quarterback. Again, he played wide receiver last year.
Yep,
on this near side with the read up against him, and looks like man coverage. Now Roberts is going to step back on this 2nd and 14. Haggerty gets it and hands it to Roberts. It's an unusual approach to it, about a 3-yard gain.
See, that's what Father Ryan needs to do, is limit the runs. If your this Irish defense is limit the yardage, because you don't want Robinson to get a big gain on 3rd down.
3rd and 14. James Reed running in late over that far side. 19 seconds on the play clock as JP2 looks to the far sideline. Looks like Watts will be back in at the quarterback position. Antoine Roberts, the running back. 3-receiver look with White close on this near side. It's going to be a throw in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Keaton nearly picked off by Reed. Erdman, excuse me. It was a 6, not a 5.
I mean, that was a nice play by Park Erdman, knowing that there was going to be a comeback play, and was able to immediately switch from receiver to receiver and almost get a big interception, which probably Father Ryan would need.
Well, Erdman's known for his good hands, and Irish will look for him to utilize that here. So he'll stand at his own 29-yard line. 10-17 to go second quarter. JP2 leads 7-0. It's a high punt by Zahn. Fair catch called for and made by Erdman at the 35-yard line. So Riley Zahn, the senior kicker, used in punting situations, we thought might seem at place kicker, not the case thus far. So now for Father Ryan, pretty good starting field position, all things considered. Up to 35.
Yeah, we kind of saw this, like I said, last week, when Baylor has given Father Ryan excellent field position. And I think that's probably important if you're Father Ryan, is to take advantage of what the defense gives you. Or in this case, what the special teams give you is nice field position at the 35-yard line.
Parker Peterson in. It's a tight end on that far side. Irish going back under center again, I formation. Like back in my day in the early 90s. It was a throwback. This is going to be a handoff. I believe that's Antonio Wright.
Whoa.
Extending, almost lost the ball, but he's down.
That was a nice play by Antonio Wright. We saw this in week 2 versus BGA, where he keeps those legs moving. And I think that's what helps him get the extra yardage and help slip out some of those tackles. And we saw that right there. And
they'll say a 6-yard gain, 2nd and 4, 9:45 to go second quarter. Father Ryan down by 7. And again, Tabscott under center. As they'll bring Becker over to this near side. We get a whistle. There were 16 seconds on the play clock. A substitution. That's interesting. They're going to Father Ryan Richard Bryant back in at receiver as Josh Pfeiffer is told to go back to the sideline apparently. So 2nd and 4 for Father Ryan at their own 41. Decker for blocking purposes. Antonio Wright gets tackled about a half-yard shy of the first down marker, and that's going to set up 3rd and 4. Nice strong run. We see Anthony Wright in for his twin brother Antonio, who just had that run.
I think that's probably why they're going to bring Anthony Wright here on this 3rd down play, because of his height and speed and mass, outside linebacker, that he has the strength to break some tackles against defenders. I think that's what we're going to see right here on this 3rd down play.
Approaching the 9-minute mark of the second quarter, Father Ryan with that hard count. JP2 didn't go. Anthony Wright has the first down, past the 50, spin move. Looks like a half dozen Knights will finally bring him down. Nice run on 3rd and short by Anthony Wright, and it's the Father Ryan first down. And Darden on the stop.
And I think that was probably the perfect play call by Coach Tavu, and having Anthony Wright run the ball, because, like I said earlier, his height and his mass help him break tackles against JP2 defenders. And we just saw that right there. So nice 3rd down play by Coach.
Tight formation again. It's going to be a handoff. Anthony Wright, not as much luck on that run. Way back to the original line of scrimmage and no further, as it appeared. And it was Pius and Naganor. So Naganor is one of their trusted linebackers. I think really James Wright, number 40, is their key guy, but Naganor is known for making tackles as well. I think it's a tackle for loss there, half-yard loss. They'll say 2nd and 11 for the Irish. 8.5 minutes and counting. Second quarter, Father Ryan trails JP2 by the score of 7-0. 2 receivers, a tight end and an H-back, and a running back to the right of Tabscott. JP2 brings some pressure. Tabscott's going deep for Richard Bryant. Falls incomplete. That'll bring up 3rd down.
And covered by Timothy Lark on the coverage. And a nice effort by Tabscott to throw deep for Richard Bryant. But it just wasn't there. Kind of overthrew him a little bit right there. So it's going to be a big 3rd down for Father Ryan to convert right here.
Irish need to make it to the Knights' 32-yard line to get a first down. Dylan Timmons comes out of the game as they bring in receivers to the Irish. 4 trips to the far side. Clock stop, 8:10 to go in this second quarter. 3rd and 11. Tabscott's going to throw far side. Looking for Christian Smith. Interception. Intercepted by JP2 at the 20. And out of bounds on the 32-yard line.
I think it may have been Zach Province, number 32. And I think Tapscott kind of threw it just a little too early. And I think the JP2 defender realized it, and that's how it got intercepted.
Yeah, from this angle, sometimes it's tough to see those numbers. Doing our best to give it to you, but in that case, whatever the case, it was an interception for the night. So Father Ryan, which has been plagued by turnovers this season, is with an interception for Tabscott. So 1st and 10 for the Knights from their own 31, 7:59 to go second quarter. JP2 leading Father Ryan 7-0.
Well, right now, Father Ryan's defense has pulled off some big stops against this JP2 offense. So this is another important stop right here to keep this a 7-0 game.
Jacob Land, number 24, the receiver to the near side. They bring Keaton in motion. It's going to be a pitch to Keaton to this near side. This could be a throw. And it'll go incomplete, well over the head of the intended receiver.
Nice
the aforementioned Land, yes.
Yeah, nice play by James Reed right there. Knowing the play, he knew that it was coming. He knew the trick play was coming, and that was a nice job to cover Jacob Land, the intended receiver.
Reed did not play last week for Father Ryan, so the Irish glad to have him back. Got Grayson Hubbock back after he had to miss the BGA game, so the Irish with a little bit more as far as secondary depth of those. I don't know if we're going to see Matthew Zito at linebacker tonight. Saw him in warm-ups, but I don't know if that was just for show. 2nd and 10, 7:52 to go second quarter. JP2 leads Father Ryan 7-0. The Knights looking at a 2nd and 10. It's going to be a handoff. Antoine Roberts plowing forward. Finally stopped, looks like by Anthony Wright. Also Grayson Hubbock in the vicinity, along with Cole Decker. Actually, Cole Becker. I know his name is looking at one thing and saying another. So Becker, again, that what you talked about before, Tyler, as far as the team defense. Multiple players getting there, especially with Roberts. So 3rd and 3. It says 3rd and 2 on the scoreboard. Now they have it 3rd and 3. The clock rolls. 7:20 to go second quarter. 20 seconds on the play clock. 3 receivers.
Big stop right here if you're this Irish defense.
Father Ryan nearly moves into the neutral zone. Got to be careful. They're going to bring some heat. Throw that far side incomplete. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver. And that was Land.
Another nice play by the defense to force another 3-and-out. And I cannot stress that enough, that the defense was ready to play tonight. After that opening drive, Father Ryan has not allowed little to nothing at all against this JP2 offense. And I think now this is the chance for them, yet again, and I can't stress this enough, to take advantage of what the special teams gives them. So whether it's a nice field position, maybe at the 50, it's important that it's up to them to take it down the field and score a touchdown.
Riley Zahn, number 2, set to punt from his own 25-yard line. Parker Erdman to return for Father Ryan at his own 31, a high skying punt. Fair catch called for by Erdman and made at the Father Ryan 31, 32-yard line. So 7:03 to go second quarter. And now Father Ryan, and again, that's been very defensive-minded thus far. He had that big opening drive. Father Ryan, the 3-and-out, had to punt. Then JP2 a long 85-yard drive to get a touchdown. Since then, no scoring by either side. And be Father Ryan's ball at its own 31-yard line, so no harm done from the interception. And if anything with the interception that was thrown, it's almost like a punt as far as the way it ended up. So there are worse scenarios you can have with an interception, but nevertheless something I'm sure the Irish would prefer to avoid.
And this is a very important drive right here. Not only that, but you're also giving your defense some rest, who's pretty much picked up the slack right now for this Irish offense. So it's up to them to take what the Irish defense gave them.
Parker Erdman went in motion this near side, complete to Erdman, past the 35. Pair of tacklers brings them down for JP2.
Nice play call by Coach Tavu, and a nice play by Erdman of getting outside, and the defense was not aware of him until after that big 7-yard gain, and it'll be second short.
3 receivers, 2 to the far side, 6:36 and counting second quarter. And with 20 seconds on the play clock, Tapscott looks to the sideline, moves the running back Jaden Robinson from his left to his right. And it's a handoff. Robinson to this near side. Nice blocking. First down. Past the 50. It takes 3 players for JP2 to get him out of bounds. A white flag.
Oh, I think it may be frustration on JP2.
Well, we'll see. Father Ryan was hit with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty early. We'll see if this one's going to be pinned on the Knights. It's really a flag that came in late after the play.
Yeah, I think probably the reaction from the Irish faithful right here, it's probably going to be against JP2. And yep, like you said, probably have a frustration penalty right there. on JP2 because they had a little trouble bringing Robinson down, and they were just probably showing off a little bit of frustration out there, which is probably what you do not need to do because it could haunt you.
It'll be Pfeiffer in that far slot, Smith to that far side, I think Beacom in that tight end type spot. And then with Erdman on the near side, 12 seconds on the play clock. Now, this is interesting. JP2 took a timeout. I was going to note, but I didn't have a chance to get in before the play. I saw multiple players with their hands on their hips for JP2's defense. And this is where time of possession, Father Ryan's been able to have pretty good success with that when it can establish the run. And now you have different running backs that have cycled in, whether it's Antonio Wright, his twin brother Anthony Wright, the sophomore Jaden Robinson, which is a nice run. And so for Father Ryan, this is starting to creep closer to their best starting or their best field position thus far tonight.
Yeah, and I think that what Father Ryan needs to continue to do is get JP2's defense on their heels and frustrated because remember that penalty after the play when Jamin Robinson got a bounce. Probably maybe a shove maybe on the sideline. I think that's probably how JP2 got nailed. But if you're Coach Tavu, you got to be liking what you're seeing right now is you got to continue to keep this JP2 defense on their heels every single play.
It is 89 degrees right now. I mean, as I just checked it a moment ago and refreshed, it wasn't like from an hour ago, so the heat hasn't dissipated just past 8 o'clock local time. 1st and 10, Father Ryan at the JP2 29-yard line. The Knights lead the Irish 7-0, and it will bring Beacom blocking purposes to this near side. That's going to be a handoff. Jaden Robinson, spin move with a 15. He has the first down. Big pile of players going like a rugby scrum.
I like what I'm seeing right now on this drive, Louis, because they continue to pound the ball, and they're continuing to keep this JP2 defense on their heels. So I feel like now this is the time to take advantage and get in the end zone for 6.
Erdman and Pfeiffer, the receivers to the far side. Christian Smith on the near side. This 1st and 10. And Jaden Robinson, maybe a half-yard gain at best. The Irish with the ball at the 12-yard line, so they can get a first down and they get to at least the 2. Maybe a half-yard gain. So Martinez on the stop. Dylan Timmons into the game for the Irish, along with Parker Peterson. I see a larger look there from Father Ryan from a blocking standpoint. Sure enough, we're going to see Tabscott back under center. Dylan Timmons as the fullback. And a handoff. Jaden Robinson. Robinson keeping the legs churning. Again, a rugby scrum. Tough sailing there for JP2's defense. They finally get the forward progress stopped. This is going to be a very interesting 3rd down. We'll see where they spot it. It's tough at this angle we're looking at it from.
I'm thinking maybe the 7.
So it would appear, if it is the 7, 3rd and 4.
Oh,
Maybe 3rd and a long 4. They have to get to looks like the 2 or between the 2 and the 3. Okay, this angle, it's tricky. So back under center again, Tabscott. A double tight end look. Pfeiffer, the receiver to the near side. Timmons, the fullback, a handoff. And Jaden Robinson goes backwards. It's going to be a tackle for loss. JP2 sold out against the run. They picked correctly. And now it's decision time for Father Ryan. I think they're going to send out Wisnowski.
And like I said, that was actually a pretty nice drive right there for Father Ryan until they got into the red zone. But other than that, I feel like now it's his time to get on the board and stay in this game.
A 25-yard attempt by Zach Wisnowski, who hit the game winner in the opening of the season. Field goal spinning through the uprights and good.
That was a nice drive right there by Father Ryan, taking it downfield and being able to get on the board. That's very important if you're Coach Rector and Coach Tavu. Now it's up to the defense, who's actually done well in this game, because after giving up that touchdown early, they have not allowed much against this JP2 offense. I think that's what this defense needs to continue to do for every JP2 drive from now till the end of the game.
So it's 7-3 now for JP2. Get numbers and names, and it gets a little bit complicated. The Knights lead the Irish 7-2.
7-3.
Third time's a charm, 7-3. It was not a safety. I'm going to try to shortchange the Irish. It'll be Wisnowski with the ball teed up at the 40-yard line. And you got to look out for that deep return man, number 44, Antoine Roberts. I do not think this is going to be a long kick. This may be a typical intermediate length kick by Wisnowski. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see, but it's a real roll of the dice if you want to kick it to Roberts. He had the lone touchdown on a kickoff return last week against Crest. So Wisnowski has a line drive and go towards that out of bounds line. It will go out of bounds to the 13. So the rule is if it goes out of bounds, it's a penalty, and they'll spot the ball at the 35-yard line.
Yeah, probably not what you need right now if you're Father Ryan, because now you just gave JP2 nice field position and a little bit of a shorter field to work with. So I think now this is a situation right now where Father Ryan needs to come up big against this JP2 defense, and they have been able, Lou, to maintain the run of Antoine Roberts. So
well, as noted, though, Roberts had the 88-yard touchdown return last week, so kind of pick your poison. The Irish playing it safe. Sometimes it works out. That's a live ball that's bouncing around there, but in that case, went out of bounds. So JP2 starts on this near side, 1st and 10 from its own 35-yard line. 4:08 to go, second quarter. Irish trail the Knights 7-3. Play fake. Watts throws, incomplete. In and out of the hands of the intended receiver, number 4.
Okay, Marino. It was a nice idea for the intended receiver, but it's probably thrown maybe just a little early because nice pressure by the defensive line and Torrey Herring to put pressure and cause Sawyer Watts to rush the throw.
Marino, number 4, will go to the sideline. Rory White, the lone receiver, out wide for the Knights. And with 18 seconds in the play clock, JP2 talks things over out of the pistol formation. It'll be Watts with the ever-dangerous Antoine Roberts behind him. It's a handoff to Roberts, tries to cut to the outside, spin, ankle tackle. Nice play by Anthony Wright.
And that was a nice play by, like you said, Anthony Wright. Was able to get around the blocks and able to give him a little leg tackle for not a big gain.
So 3rd and 7 for JP2, 3:42 and counting until halftime. The Knights are up by 4. Looking at a 3rd and 7, their own 38-yard line. They have to get it to their own 45 to get a first down. And we see that full moon out tonight on Friday the 13th. Here in this rivalry game at Giacosa Stadium, Bishop's Cup on the line. JP2 has won the last 3 Bishop's Cup matchups. The Irish would sure like to win it back tonight. So on 3rd and 7, Irish show blitz. They're going to bring the heat. Watts is dangerous to run with it if it gets away. And he'll be brought down for a tackle for loss.
It's like Matthew Zito on the play.
And if that's Zito in there, that's good news.
Yep.
I would say Cole Decker in there as well.
And a nice play by Cole Becker on the play, as long with Matthew Zito and others to force another stop. This is probably right now the best time and the best game that I've seen this Irish defense play very well.
So Becker in there also, as you mentioned, Zito. I'm not sure how much he'll be able to play tonight. It's a little favoring. It looks like his wrist or his arm. Had a cast on it 2 weeks ago, did not play last week. So Zahn set the punt for the Knights. Parker Erdman stands at the Irish 35-yard line with 0 seconds on the play clock. 2:25 to go in the second quarter. So look at JP2. Yeah, they let the clock run down, took a timeout. They have 1 remaining. Father Ryan, its full complement of 3 timeouts. So the Irish trail by 4, but you got to think momentum-wise, they were able to get the field goal. And after that opening long drive that JP2 had, the Irish defense is by and large kept them in check.
Yes, absolutely. Right now, the defense has been dominating after that opening drive touchdown allowed. I felt like Coach Privet has been making the right play calls, and the Irish defense figuring out ways to stop this JP2 offense, who has not done as much after the opening drive. So if you're the Irish defense, you have to be very confident, and now it's now time for the offense to do what they did on the previous drive, but this time punch it into the end zone.
So Zahn set to punt. Erdman standing, stepping backward to start to say that, on the 37-yard line. Again, the Irish all 3 timeouts, 2:25 to go here late in this first half. It's a good snap. He's on the high punt. Fair catch called for by Erdman and made. at the 35-yard line. The sure-handed Erdman brings it in. For the Irish, 3 timeouts, 2:18 to go in this second quarter, trailing 7-3 to JP2.
And right now, JP2, I've noticed they've been pinning Father Ryan anywhere like inside, like, well, maybe pretty much ahead of the 30, because this is probably another great field position opportunity if you're Father Ryan to punch it in for 6.
It'll be Jaden Robinson in at running back. Robinson was a couple of the series before last actually made a tackle on defense, playing the line a little bit. So Father Ryan trying to keep its defense as fresh as possible. Likewise, though, you want to have Robinson in there fresh. 4 receivers, though, at least 3 and a tight end on this 1st and 10 from the Irish 35-yard line. Tabscott in the shotgun. Trying to buy time. Could be in trouble. Tries to get away. Throws it, and it's going to be intercepted. That's going to be a pick 6 for JP2.
I think Tabscott was just trying to throw it away, but was not able to get enough on it. I think that's what caused the interception.
I believe it was Pius Anaganor that was on him there, trying to bring him down and just trying to throw the ball away. And it was number 9, Brandon Shockley, with the interception taken back for a touchdown. So after all that back and forth, field game position battle, it's a pick 6, a defensive score, the second interception of this half by Tabscott. This one taken back for a touchdown. The extra point could put the Knights up by 11. And the kick sails to the uprights. And I can appreciate the thought that Tabscott was trying to buy time, trying to roll to that far side, just trying to throw it away, but did not turn out the way certainly Father Ryan had hoped there. So now this is interesting. The Irish are down by 11. That's definitely a gut punch as far as the turn of events with the pick 6 for the Knights. And of course the Knights deferred after winning the opening coin toss. They'll receive the ball to start the second half. So now strategically for Father Ryan, they still have their 3 timeouts. And we'll see what they end up doing if they try and go back to the run, air it out a bit more. So they have to do something to bounce back, you would think. Now, 3 years ago, Father Ryan was down by 17 at the half and came back, had an opportunity to win on the last play, or at least tie it with a field goal. It was the Jackson Bird. 1 year later, they used against Ravenwood and got a victory out of it. The ball comes off the tee. They're trying to get things set up over there on this 40-yard line of JP2. They're going to kick off from this near side hash. Andrew Southard. Aiden Nelson and Parker Erdman, the deep men for Father Ryan. Nelson on this near side. Kind of shaded over with Erdman midfield. A high spinning kick. That's a live ball. Takes a couple of bounces. And it's almost as good as a touchback the way it rolled around. Finally fielded and out of bounds. Maybe the 21, 22-yard line.
I mean, I felt like on that kickoff, because the way it was angling toward the sidelines, I think if Father Ryan was successful in kind of blocking out, then that would have been a penalty on JP2 for free kick out of bounds if Father Ryan to get the ball at the 35. Yeah, it's showing some risk reward there, and that's where it worked out for the Knights. So let's say the ball is at the 22. I couldn't quite see who it was for Father Ryan that ended up getting on it. It was, again, from that angle, you got a dozen players over there. It can sometimes be a bit difficult, somewhat challenging. We have a monitor here in front of us. So it'll be 5 for the receiver to that far side. Erdman, and I believe Smith there on this near side with Erdman in the slot. 2:01 to go second quarter. JP2 leads Father Ryan 14-3. 6 seconds on the play clock. Out of the shotgun, Tabscott looking to throw. Rolls near side, being chased. Throws complete. Christian Smith has it at the 36-yard line. First down, Irish. I bet we're going to see Father Ryan move quick to the line. The clock stops temporarily as they move the chains. They'll spot the ball at the Irish 37, and indeed, Father Ryan quick to the line. That's the way they like to do it, up-tempo. And so with Matthew Beacom, line more like a receiver in the slot on that far side. 4 receivers. Tabscott on this 1st and 10 throws near side, complete. Parker Erdman out of bounds. But a 4 or 5 yard gain, that stops the clock. And it's very important for Father Ryan's throws to be close to the sideline, so that way JP2 won't be able to tackle them inbounds and keep the clock moving. But that was a smart play by Erdman to make the catch while staying in bounds and then going out of bounds and stopping the clock right there for Father Ryan. That's big right there.
So they're looking at, I guess, 2nd and 6 the Irish are from their own 41-yard line. See, JP2 dropping defenders back in coverage. Might be somebody intermediate length open. Indeed, on that far side complete. Christian Smith, another first down for the Irish.
And that was another smart play by Smith to make the catch in bounds and then go out of bounds to keep the clock stopped, because this is probably what you need if you're Father Ryan. Now, granted, they do have all 3 of their timeouts, but if they want to stay in this game, they have to march down the field and score a touchdown.
One of the stronger parts of Tabscott's game is accuracy thrown to that sideline. He can pick apart his own defense. And JP2 may be playing up a little bit tighter this time. 3 receivers, 2 to the near side. Tabscott out of the gun. There's some heat. Throws complete. Jaden Robinson, little receiver screen, cuts back. A nice cut. Running perpendicular to the 50-yard line. Gets tackled there by Haggerty. Minute 22 to go on the clock. That stopped. I imagine it's a timeout for Father Ryan.
And it is.
Waiting to see there for sure before I decreed that the case. Actually, it was Land, number 24 on the stop.
I mean, that was a nice idea by Tabscott, under pressure. We remember what happened last time when he was under pressure was a pick. But that time he was able to find Robinson, who was bringing the heat. Which JP2 brought the heat and was able to give it to Robinson. And he did all he can to try to get some gain in yardage.
The ball's going to be spotted at the JP2 49-yard line. So I guess a 1-yard loss, they'll say, on that screen. So Pfeiffer out wide with Beekman. Really the slot. He's tight end that can play receiver, H-back, whatever's needed. With on this near side, Smith closest to us, and then Erdman. So Irish trying to spread it out. 2nd and 11, a minute 22 to go in the first half. Tabscott's got to run with it to sign the QB keeper past the 40. Spin move, has the first down. It's like the ball came out. It was a fumble. Father Ryan's already has 2. The Irish get the ball back. Nice break for the Irish. Father Ryan with 2 timeouts. They stop the clock temporarily to move the chains, and they're going to wind it. A minute 10 and counting, first half. Tabscott signals to his receivers on that far side. The clock ticks down. Minute 4 and counting. So Tabscott throwing deep. Incomplete. Probably for the best. They just uncorked one there. Nice coverage there by JP2.
It's like Josh Pfeiffer, the intended receiver. I mean, that was a nice try by DC Tabscott trying to go deep for Pfeiffer, but was just a little too early on that deep ball. If he was maybe waited just about maybe half to a second later, Pfeiffer would have had it and possibly a touchdown for Ryan.
Father Ryan sure could use a score before halftime. Again, you could tell the momentum changed on that pick 6. It happened just a few minutes ago. So on 2nd and 10, 55 seconds to go first half. 4 receivers again, 2 on either side. Tabscott is going to throw a high pass, incomplete, intended for Christian Smith, well over his head, but probably for the best. The way they had things aligned. With Lark over there right on him.
I mean, he was trying to, that was a nice idea by Tabscott, just a little high, because I think he was probably anticipating Jackson Cook, who was coming in from behind, and he was trying to get rid of it very quickly, but it was just a little high, and I think he was fearing the double coverage by JP2 a little bit.
Beacom and Richard Bryant, the receivers to that far side. 4 receivers for Father Ryan. 3rd and 10, 50 seconds to go. Ball at the JP2 38-yard line. And now the shotgun, Tabscott. We have a whistle. Ball got knocked out of his hands. Jacob Land ran in there and slept the ball out. But it's a false start, another false start for Father Ryan. So this is yet another game with multiple false starts. And again, you can complain about pass interference or holding or things that are judgment calls. But a false start, they've got to blow the whistle. So Father Ryan, as if 3rd and 10 weren't daunting enough, now it's 3rd and 15. 48 seconds to go here in this second quarter.
And if you're Coach Tavu and this offense at halftime, you probably need to discuss about keeping low on the penalties. Like you said, multiple false starts. It's Father Ryan. That's it's probably been hurting him the most.
Anthony Wright in at running back. 4 receivers on this 3rd and 15. Out of the gun. Tabscott looks under pressure. Will be sacked. So a sack by JP2. Jack Batson. Now the flag come in?
Ooh. Oh man,
I heard a reaction.
Looks like Anthony Wright and Jacob
we
Land.
just got a second flag.
Looks like Jacob Land and Anthony Wright were exchanging words at the end of the play. So it's going to be interesting here of who the penalty is going to be on.
Well, we'll see. Again, there are no automatic first downs in high school football. It just doesn't exist. That's just the way the rules are. So a pair of markers on the field, and this will be after the play, so the sack's going to stand in all likelihood. And so even if it's 15 yards against JP2 and that's it, it's still not going to be enough to get the Irish a first down because they lost so much yardage on the sack. For what it's worth, JP2 still has one timeout remaining, 41 seconds to go in the half. And JP2 leads Father Ryan 14-3. Wait and see. Always look for the official in the white hat when in doubt. And either he or she will let you know. In this case, our head referee. It's a personal foul. Ooh. Father Ryan. This will be offsetting.
Yeah, unsportsmanlike conduct, yeah.
So a personal foul, unsportsmanlike. The off says after the play, but so the sack stands. They're going to have the ball spotted at the Irish 48-yard line. 41 seconds to go in the half.
I think probably the penalties were against Father Ryan's Anthony Wright and JP2's Jacob Land for, like I said earlier, exchanging words and like pretty much just jabbing at each other. And the refs did have the right to throw those flags because they probably may have said maybe some magic words to each other or something like that.
So Father Ryan, well, this is interesting. They got Tabscott out there. There's 30 seconds to go. This will probably be a Tabscott. Well, we'll see before I tell you what I think is going to happen. You would figure this would be a punt by Tabscott. We shall see. And Devin Darden standing at the JP2 27-yard line. And with 1 second on the play clock, we have a whistle. I think it'll be a Father Ryan timeout. So it looks like Father Ryan went out there to try and see what JP2 might do matchup-wise, took their second timeout, and why not? There's 16 seconds to go in the half. Can't cash them in on your way to the locker room. That's the way it works. If you're
probably Father Ryan in this situation, probably the adjustments you need to make in this first half is try to protect Tabscott, the offensive line, feel like needs to do, because pretty much a few times JP2's put pressure on Tabscott, and it has been able to take advantage of, getting a couple sacks and a pick six. So I think one of the adjustments is not only, number one, limiting the penalties, because like multiple false starts, this is probably maybe like the third or fourth straight game where that has happened. So I think that's number one priority. Number two priority is protect Tabscott. And the reason I'm saying this is because JP2 has been able to get to him really quickly. Now, granted, he does have those mobile skills, but I think it's up to the offensive line's responsibility to continue to protect him. So it gives him more time in the pocket to find options. So this 4th and 24, score update at the half. Crest leads Montgomery Bell Academy 17-7. Game played in West Tennessee, and it will be Tabscott the pooch punt. Devin Durden let it go over his head. Bounced toward the 12-yard line. Irish will just let it continue to roll until it finally stops trying to drain it every second off the clock. It's 4 seconds, so they'll blow it dead. You would imagine this would be JP2 just taking a knee here and going to the halftime locker room up by 11. And again, JP2 won the opening coin toss, deferred, so they will receive the ball to start the second half. But on the flip side, though, Father Ryan, yes, being down 11 is not what they wanted. The pick six really hurt, obviously. But by the same token, you've got to think, though, that these conditions, still 89 degrees out there right now. I mean, I just checked. It's the attrition that is inevitably going to happen. This kind of weather, you're going to have guys cramping up in the second half. That's just the way it goes. So Father Ryan, 4 defenders back at the Irish 40-yard line or so, and it's just a kneel down. Yeah, they'll take us to halftime.
So it's halftime here at Giacosa Stadium. Your score at the half: Pope John Paul II High School 14, Father Ryan High School 3. We're going to take a halftime break and be back on the other side for the second half of this broadcast. This is Father Ryan Football on ATW Sportscast.
Made back in 2009 to participate in the American Cancer Society's Relay for Life has resounded around our community and the nation. Today, Father Ryan's Relay for Life, which was a big success back in 2009, has been recognized again as the best, receiving, and not for the first time, the Gordy Klatt #1 per capita award for youth, awarded to the #1 per capita collegiate or high school event in the country. Last year, the dollars raised surpassed $206,000 and went a long way to assisting cancer fighters and survivors and their families as they battle this disease. This year, Father Ryan will look to expand on that total as they welcome teams from throughout the community, including the team from John Paul II High School, on Saturday, October 26th, from noon until midnight, to salute cancer survivors and raise funds for the American Cancer Society. And they'll kick off the program with a concert here in the Father Ryan Dining Hall this Sunday beginning at 6:30. Let's meet this year's leadership team, and when we say leaders, we mean it. This is a completely student-led event. The committee chairs are Marketing Directors, Kate McNeil, a senior from St. Joseph. Production Directors, Zoe Diaz, a senior from St. Henry. And Julia Eit, a junior from St. Henry. Team Development Director, Senior Kara Orlick from St. Matthew. And they are leading 44 committee members alongside around 45 team captains who also serve as leaders. And a special salute to our 2019 Relay for Life co-chairs who are leading the overall campaign. Madison Ahern from St. Matthew. And Danny Ferrone, a St. Rose of Lima graduate. These two are responsible for leading, training, and motivating the Relay for Life Committee. They plan and run weekly committee meetings, represent Relay on campus and in larger community events, and they work with committee directors on all the ins and outs of Relay-related events. The team has a big day planned and an even bigger result in terms of dollar raised. And speaking of dollars, there's one more thing to celebrate about Father Ryan's Relay for Life. The students, over the past 10 years, have now raised more than $1 million for the American Cancer Society. That's earned Father Ryan the Legacy Award from the Society. So to this year's committee and Relay for Life leaders over the past 10 years, congratulations, and thank you for demonstrating so vividly Father Ryan's tradition of faith, knowledge, and service for all the world to see. Let's hear it for your Father Ryan Relay for Life group.
Any way you want me to shoot this for you? Any way you want me to shoot it? No. I'm not Facebook. Yeah, it's whatever. You don't even have to. Oh.
And now, one of the moments that makes a Friday night at the Jim Carroll Alumni Athletic Complex so special, the arrival of the 2019 Father Ryan Marching Band. The band continues to set the standard as one of the premier programs in the nation with their innovative and exciting performances. Whether it's the drumline's inventive programs, or the color guard's synchronization, or the beauty of their music, they remain fan favorites on the local, regional, and national level. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting the Father Ryan Marching Band under the direction of Jeremy Fry, along with Jeff and Derek Schletzer, and our newest director, Heather Arnett. They are performing their show, The One and Only.
Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3.
Dismute with Captain and Senior Al Kaufman. Tonight, they will be performing September by Earth, Wind, and Fire. Give it up for your Father Ryan dance team. Another great performance. Let's hear it for your Father Ryan dance team.
Check DA. They were trailing 14-0.
Yeah, let's check the scores. Check some scores.
But they are playing last year's runner-up at 6-8. And they ain't lost nobody. VA's just not having a good time. Last
they're
I
not.
saw, it was 14-0.
14-7 1/2.
Oh, okay. So they finally did get that under control. Well, that's last year's what? Runner-up in 6-8. Come on, girl. Come on. Say hello.
The flight just down to those
Calvin.
restrooms. So let's see scores of interest. NBA's down by 10 at Briar Crest at the half. Ensworth's beating CPA. While CPA's not as good this year as they were last year. Maybe close.
I thought you were doing the broadcast out window.
Oh, yeah, no.
I'm
No, I was just.
asthmatic. I think somebody wants him down there.
I rarely do this, but wait. Approaching the end of halftime here at Giacosa Stadium. Your score, Pope John Paul II High School 14, Father Ryan High School 3. I'm Lou Pickney, and from behind the crest, Tyler Fernandez. And Tyler, for Father Ryan, it was like a defensive battle there for most of that first half. They had the long drive for JP2 early. The pick six really hurt late. And the Knights up by 11 will get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. That was probably one of the most hurtful things to happen, and gut feeling play if you're a Father Ryan. So I feel like now that JP2 has the ball back. Excuse me a second.
Yeah, we got people knocking on the door here, and you got a sign on the outside saying, no entry. It's just a broadcast booth. Don't worry about quality of the broadcast, right? So 23 seconds and counting. I'm not sure if the 3-minute warm-up you typically have at halftime. There's a 15-minute delay before we started the game. And before we get into anything else, some scores of interest I'll go through. At the half, Ravenwood, excuse me, let me read the long list here. It's Whitehaven leading Brentwood Academy 14-7 at the half. Baylor at last were all over Chattanooga Central 28-0, but that was early. Also Macaulay taking care of Stellar Prep, California. It's a long way to come. And they're having issues in Chattanooga today with the water main break, but apparently they're able to play ball. So 21-0 with the last word. Macaulay looking strong there. Ensworth had their troubles in the past with CPA. They lead CPA 21-7 at the half. Lipscomb leads Page 17-7. Germantown and Father Ryan scheduled later this year. They're getting beaten 28-0 by Oakland. And I don't know which Oakland that is. It says Oakland. Briarcrest up at the half on NBA 17-7. Christian Brothers up the half 7-0 on White Station. St. Benedict 25, Bolton 0. And then MUS beating Melrose at the half 33-0. So with all of that, here we go for the second half, Tyler. We're going to see Father Ryan kicking off. And if it's going to be the typical form for Father Ryan, put that intermediate length kick, you don't want to kick it too deep. The ever dangerous Antoine Roberts there, number 44, had that lone touchdown for JP2 last week when they lost rather one-sidedly to Briarcrest. The lone score was him on a kickoff return. I know Father Ryan knows that as we start the second half. And line drive kick. Roberts tries to field it. Nice job by Wisnowski to get into the end zone for the automatic touchback. See the powder being thrown. Make them to your screen here in a minute. There's that tradition after halftime from the student section, the jungle. It's a construction theme. So you see some yellow and orange vests here that seem a bit out of place. It's not doing any road work. It's just the gimmick they're going with for tonight.
And the defense has done well. Excuse me a second.
So, yeah, the defense for Father Ryan that, by and large, that's from that first see smoke starting to roll in here, the way it looks. Yeah, they already kicked off. We're just live on the air here. Come on. 14-3, JP2 leads Father Ryan. And the Knights looking at 1st and 10 from their own 20. There's 15 seconds in the play clock. JP2 taking its time. Again, 12-0 on the clock as the touchback didn't actually wind any time off. And be a handoff, Antoine Roberts. Nice stop in that middle there. Cole Becker.
Yep. Nice play by Cole Becker to see and anticipate that JP2 with the dominant run game so thus far in that first half. But I think now since JP2's run the ball a little bit more, that Father Ryan knows and what is expected to come a little bit more in the second half.
So just underway in the third quarter. JP2 leads Father Ryan 14-3. The Knights looking at a second and 9, I guess, from the 21-yard line. They get thrown 30 to get a first down. They'll send James Wright in motion to block that far side. Another handoff, Antoine Roberts. Good second effort, but probably back to the line of scrimmage, maybe a half-yard gain. Father Ryan's defense swarmed to him and made the stop.
And I feel like that's what the Father Ryan defense needs to continue to do in this second half, is continuing to anticipate the run of Antoine Roberts. And after that opening score, Father Ryan's defense has done a nice job of shutting down the run game of JP2.
Cole Becker on the stop in the last play. 3rd and 9, 10:48 to go. Third quarter, the Irish down by 11, trying to force a 3 and out for this opening possession of the second half. Sawyer watches the quarterback. Fakes a handoff. Nobody open. Now he's going to throw deep into double coverage. Incomplete. Good job by Father Ryan's defense to prevent anyone from getting open. Jacob Land, their intended receiver. And it appears the Knights will be set to punt.
That was a nice play by both Park Ehrman and Grayson Hubbock, who were able to get the appropriate coverage that they needed down the field. And that was a very important stop for the Father Ryan defense. And let's see if they can continue to take advantage of the field position that's given.
Both of these teams are adept at making halftime adjustments. A little low on the snap. Zahn with a high skying punt. Erdman probably just get away from it, and he will. He'll take a kind of neutral bounce and be fielded inside JP2 territory, thrown 49. So not the best punt by Zahn. And Father Ryan looking to start its first possession of the second half in JP2 territory.
I think that probably the little bit of the problem was that the punter was anticipating the block, so he kind of rushed it a little bit to get it away, and that's probably the result that you saw right there, and not being able to get a far punt. And so this is probably the best field position Father Ryan's probably had all game is inside their opponent's territory.
From a starting standpoint, certainly. 3 receivers, 5 on that far side, shotgun formation, 1st and 10. DC Tap's got the junior quarterback's going to hand it off. And Jaden Robinson spin move. He got 1 yard the hard way. His tackle looks like the 48-yard line of JP2. But again, it's this in Haggerty on the stop. Think about, though, some of these guys for both teams obviously playing both sides of the ball, but, again, still mid-80-degree temperatures. It is hot and muggy out there. I think we have the only working air conditioner in this place, and we'll take it on a night like this, that's for sure. So 2nd and 9. Irish with the ball. They'll say it's the 48-yard line of the Knights. 4 receivers, 2 out wide, and they're going to send Parker Erdman in motion. Make it trips receivers that far side. A quick receiver screen. Erdman complete. Erdman tries to make a man miss. Nice move. Stays on his feet past the first down marker to the 35, to the 30. Still going to the 25. Cuts to the 10, to the 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Irish.
Wow, about that.
So on 2nd and 9, a 48-yard touchdown. The Parker Erdman little out route. They sent him in motion. And Erdman just made some guys miss. He's got some quickness. I tell you what. We saw it week 1 when he made Vito Tisdale, one of the best players in Southern Kentucky, miss on a play. And we see it right there. Multiple players for JP2 out of position. The Irish, an extra point could pull them within 4.
And that was the perfect drive, the perfect planned drive right there by Coach Tavu. And just like that, Father Ryan's back in it.
Extra point by Zach Wesnowski is good. I always wait for those officials if I can, just because sometimes the angles play tricks. None of them there, though. So hard to complain about the start if you're a Father Ryan fan. The Irish now trailing by 4, so it's 14-10, JP2. So the Knights got the ball to start this second half. A 3-and-out, nice defense by Father Ryan. Again, targeting their attack on stopping Roberts, the great running back. And there really hasn't been a whole lot from the passing game for JP2. They've had some here and there, but they've had some trouble connecting. So it will remains to be seen if they're going to keep going with a run. They're going to try and mix it up.
Yeah.
Again, adjustments on both sides in this rivalry game. Bishop's Cup is on the line.
Yep, it's a big award that Father Ryan probably desperately needs and wants, because JP2 earlier before the kickoff, we talked about how JP2's won it in the last few years, and I feel like now this is Father Ryan's chance. With that touchdown, they're back in this, so it's pretty much now anybody's game now.
JP2 won the opening meeting between these two, the inaugural one in 2005. And from then until 2014, Father Ryan won every time except for 2012. And won in 2015 as well. Then last 3 seasons have gone the way of the Knights. Kickoff by Wesnowski, go close to the goal line. Did it break the plane? It did. And you could tell Roberts was ready to go for that return. He's such a dangerous returner. Irish trusting the leg of Wesnowski. Got just enough, and it's a touchback. So 1st and 10, JP2 from its own 20-yard line. 9:30 to go, third quarter. JP2 14, Father Ryan 10. Looking over this Father Ryan defense. Very encouraging to see Matthew Zito back out there. Didn't play last week. Has been limited in his looks here. 19 seconds on the play clock. It is interesting this way the teams are utilizing this 40-second play clock. Trying to work to their advantage. So out of a pistol formation, 2 receivers for Watts. Watts play fake. He's going to roll near side. Has Becker. But he's going to throw deep. Dangerous pass. Rory White makes the catch. And is tackled by Sharp to save a touchdown.
Yeah.
Reed.
Yep, go ahead.
No, you're right. Go ahead.
James Reed on that play, you probably kind of saw he stumbled a little bit on the route. So I don't know if it was, one of the wide receivers accidentally kicked him a little bit to maybe kind of trip him up. But other than that, nice play by DeJuan Sharp, the freshman. And his dad actually is the defensive backs coach here at Father Ryan High School, along with being a strength trainer. So he's been a little bit father-son bond is going well, and nice potential game-saving touchdown right there.
I'll send Keaton in motion to the far side. Will the Knights in this 1st and 10 from the Irish 36. Handoff Antoine Roberts. Look out. It's got a head of steam to the 10, to the 5. Stop just shy of the goal line. And that's the danger of facing a team with a running back like Antoine Roberts. He gets that head of steam going. He's got the size. He's only a junior. So test now for Father Ryan's goal line defense. 1st and goal, JP2. 8:38 to go, 3rd quarter. JP2 leads Father Ryan 14-10. And quick to the line. Another handoff to Roberts. Tries to find a hole into the end zone. Touchdown, Pope John Paul II High School. From 1 yard out, Roberts. And that long run to set it up. The Irish had most of those holes plugged there, but it didn't take much room for Roberts to sneak through. And so that makes it 20-10, JP2 with an extra point pending.
And with that big run on the touchdown, it was a big run by Roberts to help set up that touchdown with the same play to him. So just like that, it's now kind of in a back and forth game a little bit where Father Ryan cuts to the 4 and then JP2 extends it. So Father Ryan needs another repeat of their last drive and punching it into the end zone.
Extra point good by Andrew Southard. 8:28 to go, 3rd quarter. So back to an 11-point lead for JP2. Think about that long pass, or Reed, the turf monster, got him. It took the freshman Sharp to make the stop. But you mentioned that you're right. It's nice having that family connection. That helpful if you have a freshman in there that has the ability to help you from a young age learn the sport. Helps to have talent too, and clearly Sharp seems to have it. And there's a reason they've got him out there as a freshman. They will play freshman with Father Ryan, but they won't just throw anybody out there. But you think about as hot as it is tonight, that you've got to be able to cycle in players on every level really, but particularly secondary.
You absolutely keep the guys fresh and avoid cramps, especially in the second half, where and especially in the 4th quarter, where you probably might see some of them coming.
As the strong leg, number 47, Andrew Southard. It's a spinning kick to the near side, fielded at the 22, bobbled, picked back up to the 25, pushed forward to the 30, spun around. Stephen Ponder on the return as an up man. So pretty good field position for Father Ryan, all things considered. Next offensive possession of this second half, 8:21 to go, 3rd quarter. Father Ryan trails by 11.
Right now, if you're Father Ryan, you need, like I said earlier, you need a nice repeat of what you did on the last drive, in which Parker Erdman on last drive took it in for 6. So I bet you probably JP2's probably anticipating that Tapscott's going to go to him. So let's just see what happens.
It's Erdman in the slot. 3 receivers in this 1st and 10. Jaden Robinson, the running back, blocks. Rainbow pass. Christian Smith make a one-handed catch. Was that a one-handed catch? It sure looked like it. It's a reception. Father Ryan striking deep with a pass to the near side.
Oh man, a little Randy Moss action there. First off by burning the defender.
Oh, wait. No.
Father
Ryan. When you know, holding.
Oh, no.
So 10 yards, take the reception off the board. And Lark was the defender there, and he had some trouble last week against Crest. They played a good first half.
And another flag.
Oh. So this could be a personal foul on top of the holding. We'll see what they say. This is a heated rivalry on a very hot night here in South Nashville.
We got another flag on the sidelines.
We got flags coming in aplenty. This is going to take a moment or two to sort out.
So right now, unsportsmanlike conduct on Ryan.
So Father Ryan gets hit after the holding call with a dead ball unsportsmanlike penalty. Sideline warning, Father Ryan.
Ooh.
Now, warning is not an actual penalty, but a second one becomes a penalty. So for as nice as the second half began for Father Ryan, forcing the 3 and out by JP2, getting the long drive down to the touchdown, it was JP2 with its own long drive, and it looked like Father Ryan in good field position, but now they're going to be marched back.
Oh,
They're going to be thrown 8. The yard to gain is the Irish 43. So this is the 7. I see the ball on the near side.
A little interesting here.
1st and 36. You won't call many of those in your career, I promise you.
Probably not.
I don't believe I ever have. So Father Ryan, again, they've got to get to the 43. And if it's a pass interference penalty, it's not an automatic first down. So remember that. They've got to get it the hard way. They've got to earn it. So it's me 4 receivers out of the gun. JP2 teases a blitz, brings some heat. The designed keeper, DC Tabscott, running past the 20 to near the 30, rolls over to the 32, 33-yard line.
That was perfect. That was a perfect design play. That with that nice quarterback draw, the offensive line opening up some holes, and pretty much Father Ryan got almost all, if not most, of that penalty yardage back.
About a 25-yard or 24-yard run by the time they spotted at the Irish 31-yard line, 2nd and 12. That's a lot more manageable. 7:47 to go third quarter. Father Ryan trails 21-10 to the rivals from Hendersonville, Pope John Paul II High School. And with 15 seconds on the play clock, Tapscott looks to the sideline. He's going to move Jaden Robinson over to his right, Will Tapscott. And with 6 seconds on the play clock, some heat. A throw complete. Jaden Robinson makes the catch, a 2-yard gain as Tapscott was getting thrown to the ground, nearly sacked. I'm surprised he'd be able to get rid of that ball. Nice play.
Yeah, the last 2 times that JP2 has brought the pressure on, Tapscott has been able to find his running back, Jaden Robinson, and they're trying to earn every single yard they can get right now.
3rd and 10 for Father Ryan. They started the 32-yard line, went back a long ways, and now they're back there again. So 33-yard, it'd be 12 yards needed there for Father Ryan on this, or 10 yards, get things corrected. So it's 3rd and 10. Now there's a delay in the action. They're going to reset the play clock. So they stopped it temporarily. I imagine they're going to wind the clock here in just a second. 7:06 and counting. Here in this third quarter, Father Ryan trails by 11 points. They're going to go 4 wide receivers, trips to the near side on this 3rd and 10. After that long run by Tapscott put him in a reasonable spot. And it'll be again the design QB keeper, Tapscott. He needs to get to the 43. Does. Makes it to the 45, but the ball comes loose.
No, they're rolling him down. Hold up. Nope. Hold up.
Well, let's wait and see what the call is.
First down.
So Father Ryan dodges the bullet there. That remarkable. Again, 1st and 36, they get a first down, but you can tell the collective gasp from this Father Ryan contingent here at Giacosa Stadium. So after all of that, it's going to be 1st and 10 for Father Ryan from its own 45. So again, Tapscott, he stays cool in the pocket even when he's definitely under pressure. And another 4 receiver look, 2 out to the far side, 2 to the near. And Jaden Robinson, the running back. And Tapscott throws near side complete. Parker Erdman sidesteps the defender past the 40. Out of bounds. First down, Irish. And it was Lark again who ended up taking the wrong step.
Yeah, a little turf monster gone because as soon as Erdman made the catch, all of a sudden, for whatever reason, he just slipped and fell and allowed Parker Erdman to get more yardage for a first down.
Well, it's like the proverbial ankle break in basketball. Somebody makes the catch. Just Erdman's so quick. It's no knock on Timothy Lark, who played a good first half. So the receivers on that far side, Josh Pfeiffer in the slot, way out, Christian Smith. Erdman, the receiver to the near side on this 1st and 10. And with Tapscott flush from the pocket, he's going to throw deep into the end zone. It's caught or incomplete, but we get flags.
Interference, I think, is going to be against JP2 in the end zone.
It looked like for a second the receiver had it. I tried to squint over there to see. I've got glasses on. Even from here, it's tough to see in this glare if that was Pfeiffer number 2 or Smith number 3. So Pfeiffer?
Yes.
So pass interference will be a 15-yard penalty, and it'll be a Father Ryan first down. The ball was at the 38, so now they will move the ball to the 23-yard line. So this kind of long, sustained drive for Father Ryan going to wear down more and more on that JP2 defense. Again, I can't stress enough that heat and humidity out there. And we haven't seen guys cramping up yet, but, I mean, it's almost a time-honored tradition, just the reality of athletes out there working so hard and trying to stay hydrated. It's sometimes easier said than done. So 6:06 to go third quarter. Father Ryan trails by 11. Looking at 1st and 10 from the JP2 23-yard line. Again, 4 receivers. Father Ryan going run and shoot style. Quick throw, Erdman complete. A nice tackle, though, by JP2. They read that one. Look, that was Wright. James Wright, number 40. It wasn't him on the stop. He was in there close to it. Going to have the benefit of a monitor here, so I'm trying to call it live. So 3-yard loss. Nice play by JP2 to snuff out that screen to Erdman. Another 4 receiver look, 2nd and 13 for Father Ryan. 5:35 to go third quarter. And with 16 seconds on the play clock, some heat. Throw to the near side complete. And a nice reception by Parker Erdman, but not a whole lot gained. Maybe a 3-yard gain. So they'll spot the ball at the JP2 23-yard line. The clock stops for the out of bounds. 5:26 to go in this third quarter. JP2 21, Father Ryan 10 to the Irish. Knocking on the door of that red zone. Again, a 4-receiver look. Bryant way out there deep. Pfeiffer in the slot. On that far side, near side slot, you got Erdman. And with 9 seconds on the play clock, Christian Smith on the near side here as well. That receiver, Jaden Robinson, the running back. DC Tasker, we have a whistle from the officials. So Father Ryan takes a timeout there. That's the first timeout for either team here in the second half. So for Father Ryan, down by 11. If nothing else, it gives them a chance to perhaps think things over a little bit and talk over, make sure everybody's on the same page. A rather important 3rd and 9. The Irish can get a touchdown. It's back to a one-possession game. A field goal would technically make it an 8-point game, one possession, but I assure you the Irish are certainly wanting to punch into the end zone if all possible.
Yeah, absolutely. The most important thing right now in order to stay in this game is scored touchdowns. And then now, assuming if they do score a touchdown, Father Ryan defense needs to get a big stop and give this Irish offense a chance to have a shot at winning this game and the cup.
Yeah, the Bishop's Cup, it's been elusive. You know, the seniors for this Father Ryan team, they don't want to have their careers end without being able to hoist the cup in victory. Of course, they get the playoff victory 2 years ago against JP2, but that was not a cup game, a non-title game, but certainly a lot of the line there as that ended JP2's season, and Father Ryan went to the quarterfinals. So now third and 9, 3rd and 10, call it what you will. Ball to 22. The Irish need to get the ball inside maybe the 14-yard line of the Knights. Late substitution for JP2. So they'll bring Timothy Larkin to this near side to go number 3 on number 3 against Christian Smith of Father Ryan. So 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10, and it will be Anthony Wright. Incomplete. Ball on the one hop, unless it was ruled a lateral, which it was not. It's incomplete. Not Tabscott's best throw.
Yeah, probably not. I don't know if the ball maybe slipped out of his hand a little bit, probably with this humidity and conditions. That might be a tendency where probably that might happen. And it looks like nope, never mind.
So we're going to set the field goal team. The ball is spotted on the near hash between the 22 and 23-yard line. So it'll be about a 40-yard attempt by junior Zach Wesnowski. 14 seconds on the play clock, so Irish can get things set up here. Again, this near side. Wesnowski 1 for 1 in the game. Hit a field goal in the first half. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, spinning. Does it have enough? It does not. No good. So not quite enough leg on that one, and it's possession going over now to the Knights of JP2. 5:16 to go, third quarter. Pope John Paul II High School 21, Father Ryan High School 10. Now this Irish defense, I think it would stand to reason to say they need to get a stop here if at all possible. You cannot let Roberts get ahead of steam going at running back position. Antoine Roberts, he's really impressed me. I've seen him before. I'm certainly aware of what he could do, but there's guys for Father Ryan that play both sides of the line, just like there are for JP2. And certainly when exhaustion sets in, it becomes more and more difficult to stop the run. But the ball is actually at the 20-yard line because it's a missed field goal. In high school, the rules, it goes like as if it's a touchback. So a little bit further back than they would have been if Father Ryan had gone for it there and not gotten it. Got 9 seconds on the play clock. JP2 is getting position. 5 seconds. They'll snap it with 3. Sawyer Watts is going to throw. High pass. Grayson Hubbock's there to force the incompletion.
And
good defense with Keaton, the intended receiver.
Yep. Nice play by Hubbock. Both guys were going up for the ball. Hubbock had a chance at it. Heck, even Brendan Keaton had a chance on it. And but other than that, nice defense and nice chance by Sawyer Watts.
I mean, Watts has by and large played smart as far as throwing the ball. I haven't seen him run as much as I'd anticipated. That could be, a symptom of Father Ryan's defense trying to prevent that from happening. Easier said than done as Hubbock moves over to that far side. Father Ryan teases an outside linebacker blitz from Zito. He'll bring it in as a carry by Roberts has about 3-yard gain.
Yeah, that's probably what you need to do right now is you're this Irish defense. From that last drive, they had Roberts was able to get around and go up big holes. And now I think Father Ryan understands which way he's running to, so they're doing a nice job of establishing and knowing the direction and immediately getting there quickly to stop him.
3rd and 7 for the JP2 Knights. You see a substitution for Father Ryan. It's the freshman Poppy Sharp to the sideline. Parker Urban on this critical 3rd and 7. Watts out of the gun. Looks left, throws right, complete. Rory White, and this could be trouble. White into the open field, past midfield, to the 40, to the 30. No defenders within 15 yards of him. Touchdown, Pope John Paul II High School. Rory White on a 77-yard touchdown. And that one just took the wind out of the sails of this Father Ryan crowd. Long touchdown. White finally broke one. And suddenly it's 27-10 JP2 with an extra point pending.
Yeah, it's probably not what you wanted right there, but after that screen pass, it was a nice job by JP2's offensive line to get some key blocks and allow White to get out into the open field.
Andrew Southard, extra point. Had plenty of leg through the uprights. Okay, so now here's what Father Ryan's looking at. They're down by 18 points. It's JP2 28, Father Ryan 10. 4:15 to go third quarter. So a 3-possession deficit for the Irish. And it's going to be an interesting test to see if Father Ryan goes back to that passing game that at least got him down closer into JP2 territory, if they're going to try running it, mixing it up. But certainly at this point of the second half, 4 minutes, 15 seconds to go in the third quarter, it's going to be a challenge for the Irish just from a sheer time standpoint. Certainly would be in their benefit if they can strike quickly, just like JP2 was able to do there with that long touchdown throw from Watts to White.
This is a big, important drive right here. The Irish just got to continue to pound and, if possible, hurry up and get to the line quickly. Maybe catch JP2 off guard a couple of times. So that probably may either leave holes for the offensive line for key blocks, and then even better, maybe like a wide open matchup up top.
The far deep man for Father Ryan, this is interesting. Anthony Wright. Typically you see Parker Erdman back there. Next to him, it's the freshman Nelson, number 44. As a spinning kick, looks like Nelson will field it at the 6, to the 10, to the 15, with the speed going past the 20, to the 30, makes a cut, cuts to the near side, gets a block. Finally brought down around the Father Ryan 40-yard line. Nice return. Aiden Nelson, the freshman. So the Irish trail by 18 points. A pretty good starting field position. The ball at their own 40. 4:06 to go third quarter. JP2, 28. Father Ryan, 10. The trips receivers to that far side. Bryant, Parker Erdman, and number 2, Josh Pfeiffer. Quick throw by Tabska. Oh, in and out of the hands of the intended receiver. Good play call. Throw was there, just not able to connect. Intended prolific running back as they're going to bring receiver in motion. It's going to be a handoff to Roberts. So it'd be a run there for Roberts, 3 or 4 yard gain, approaching the 3-minute mark. Clock continues to run. Let's say at the 33 or 43, excuse me, where the ball is.
Yeah, well,
We have to call it time now.
Okay, so we have issues with the scoreboard cam. No problem. We'll do radio style. So 2:49 and counting, third quarter. Irish down by 18 points. JP2 with the ball at their own 43-yard line on this 2nd and 6. It's a 3-receiver look with an H back to the near side, and Roberts send the man in motion. It's a fake to Rory White. Watts is going to keep it himself. Hasn't run it as much as I thought he might in this game. Father Ryan kind of sniffed it out, maybe a 1 or 2 yard gain. But, to JP2's credit, Watts hasn't needed to run as much. As we see Jackson Brown into the game,
yeah,
Cole Becker to the sideline.
Yeah, which I should pretty too. And like you said last year, he played receiver. And right now, I think with his receiver skills and speed is actually helping him at the quarterback position.
Well, having athleticism certainly helps. He's been quite disciplined, I must say. So 3rd and 4. Irish have to be careful not to get lured into jumping into the neutral zone. That would give JP2 a free first down. And they will send the H-back in motion to that far side for blocking purposes. That's Haggerty. Be a handoff. Antoine Roberts, he has the first down past midfield. Finally tackled at the 48-yard line of the Irish. Minute 42 to go in this third quarter. They temporarily stop the clock to move the chains. And the clock runs, a minute 38 and counting. JP2 28, Father Ryan 10. Rory White had that long touchdown earlier, the receiver to this near side. Now some changes, 20 seconds on the play clock, so plenty of time for JP2 to move the receivers around as they'll bring Keaton into the slot. And Marino to the near side. 11 seconds and counting. The clock continues to run on the game clock and the play clock. 1:11 to go third quarter. And with 5 seconds on the play clock, it snapped. Antoine Roberts breaks the tackle. This could be trouble. Has the first down and escorted out of bounds by James Reed on the sideline. But another first down for the Knights.
I think right now the run game for JP2 right now is kind of taking a toll on this defense a little bit. So I think now that they've established the run game well in the second half, and obviously, like you said, the human conditions is right now taking a toll a little bit.
.102 to go, third quarter. JP2 28, Father Ryan 10. First and 10 for the Knights from the Irish 36-yard line. Keaton comes in motion. Fake the jet sweep. Watts is going to keep it himself. 2 or 3 Irish defenders bring him down, but about a 4 or 5 yard gain, and the clock continues to roll. Less than a minute to go here in this third quarter.
Yeah, probably if you're thinking about it, if you're JP2, just maybe continue to run the ball and just kill some clock.
Well, at this point, the more the time ticks off, the more it works to the advantage of the Knights. 39 seconds and counting, and JP2 pretty savvy, taking their time. 23 seconds on the play clock. They will have to snap it here, but they could snap it with 13, 14 seconds if they're so inclined. On this 2nd and 6. And they will send White in motion. It's going to be a throwback by Watts, complete on that far side. Past the 25 down near the 20. That'll be a first down, another one for the JP2 Knights.
That was interesting there on that interesting play call that they used not only that but a tackle and an offensive lineman to make the catch. Now, granted, if you were able to make that play call, you probably had to have one of the JP2 receivers off the line of scrimmage to make him eligible to catch it. I think that's probably what they did right there, and it turned out to work in their favor.
Talking things over, one thing that JP2 got away with, I saw on tape, was their center, Zach Rush, getting like 8 yards downfield on a screen pass. And, hey, if you get away with it, so be it, but we'll see what the call is here. If it was a tackle eligible, I don't know the rule in the high school level. In college, you've got to declare yourself and say, that way you can't. Oh, it's going to be against JP2.
Interesting.
An eligible receiver downfield. So that negates the reception there. I think it was number 72, Cade McDonald. It's tough to tell with these jerseys getting tucked up under the pads. White's going to be the receiver on that far side. Marino on the near side. Keaton in the near side slot. And this will be the last play, though, of the third quarter. 10 seconds on the game clock, 15 seconds on the play clock. And so that's going to it'll be 3rd and 11 for JP2 coming back from the end of this third quarter. So a tough one for Father Ryan. Can they come back? They're down by 18. Your score after 3. Pope John Paul II High School 28, Father Ryan High School 10. Back here in just a moment. This is Father Ryan football on ATW Sportscast. So we start the fourth quarter here on the campus of Father Ryan High School, Giacosa Stadium. Lou Pickney, and from behind the crest, Tyler Fernandez. And the Irish defense now looking at trying to stop the Knights at JP2. The Knights with a 3rd and 11 and an 18-point lead to start the fourth quarter. It's JP2 28, Father Ryan 10.
And what I've seen so far from this game is probably what's been helping them in the second half is the dominant running of Antoine Roberts, number 44. And he's been able to pick apart the defense.
On 3rd and 11, they try to go for the screen. Heron flushes Watts from the pocket. Watts is going to run with it, getting chased by Zito, makes an ankle tackle. 4 or 5 yard gain. Nice play, though, by Zito. Again, he didn't play last week.
He was a little shaken up afterwards.
Yeah, a little slow to get up, but try and walk it off. So 4th and 7. See, with the ball spotted at the 30. Yeah, the ball's like the 33-yard line. So 4th and 7, 11:34 to go, fourth quarter. JP2 28, Father Ryan 10.
This is interesting, keeping the offense out on the field.
They're going to go 3 receivers. 16 seconds in the play clock. The game clock continues to run, so this could be just a dog and pony show to get down to a 1-second mark. May take the penalty, not even burn a timeout. Of course, JP2 with all 3 of its timeouts, so it could opt to do that either way. And so the play clock hits 0, but at the 1-second mark, it was a timeout taken by JP2. So 11:07 to go, fourth quarter. 2 timeouts remain for both teams, but JP2 with an 18-point lead. Fourth, it's more than 5, so I don't think they'll try and induce the Irish into the neutral zone. Like you might say like a 4th and 4, but they're close enough here, they may go ahead and give it a shot. You know, they've got some latitude to the Knights at this point, up by 18 points. Father Ryan's team, defense talking things over on this near side. Water break, guys trying to get hydrated. Lloyd cramping up.
Yeah. And back on that last play, first of all, nice job by Torrey Heron, number 55, by first applying the pressure. And also a nice play by Matthew Zito, number 36, who is limited, I believe, this game. But he has made some nice plays for this Irish defense.
11:07 to go, fourth quarter. 4th and 7 for the Knights from the Irish 33-yard line. JP2 28, Father Ryan 10. And this is going to be a direct snap to Roberts, it looks like.
Ooh, another Wildcat formation.
Well, this is unusual. Not what I expect on 4th and 7. 17 seconds on the play clock. Game clock is stopped from the timeout. And so now there's going to be some shifting. And they move Brooks Haggerty in there. So trick play. They're going to toss it to Watts. Watts going to throw deep. Has a wide open receiver, but overthrows him. So a turnover on downs. And
oh, he's limping.
it was James Wright, number 40, the intended receiver. Might have had I don't want to speculate, but may have tweaked his hamstring a little bit. So it's a turnover on downs. He's wide open. And that's a definitely unexpected trick play there by a team up by 18 points in the fourth quarter. But you figure if you hit that for a touchdown, he was wide open. That's the knockout punch for the Irish. Instead, Father Ryan, now they're down by 3 scores, but 2 timeouts, 10:58 to go, fourth quarter. Irish can get back into it, but they've got to do it quick. They got to start now.
Yeah, you don't see that happen a lot in high school football with some of those trick plays. And JP2 did a nice job of pretty much they faked out and pretty much fooled the entire Irish defense. And granted, wide receiver just wide open.
On 1st and 10, throw to the near side. Anthony Wright into the game at a running back. Running back screen complete. About a 4 or 5 yard gain for the Irish.
Well, and back to what I said about the play earlier, that was just a nice play right there by JP2, like faking out the Irish defense. And Watts threw to a wide-open receiver, just wasn't able to get there, and unfortunately probably maybe tweaked his hamstring. And Anthony Wright, with his height, size, and speed, was able to get a nice gain.
10:30 to go, fourth quarter on this second down. So Tabscott running with it, has the first down past the 45, stopped at the Irish 47-yard line. You figure Father Ryan's going to get to the line as quick as possible here. Down by 3 scores, you got to move quick.
Yes.
10:23 to go here, fourth quarter. The Irish with the first down, and that's expected back to the line. They got to get in position. Make sure everybody's lined up properly. Don't get a procedure penalty. And with Smith lined up here properly on this near side, 4 receivers. Tabscott's going to throw. Christian Smith complete. Tries to cut it to the outside. Has the first down. Finally tackled by a pair of Knights defenders in JP2 territory at their 41-yard line. It's a first down for the Irish.
Also Timothy Lark. So pretty much like 3 versus 3 right there on that matchup. And the 3 in purple was able to win that matchup and was able to get across the yardage stick for the first down.
1st and 10, Father Ryan. 9:52 to go, fourth quarter. They're down by 18. Throw to the far side. Incomplete, intended for Josh Pfeiffer. A quick throw there by Tabscott. It was pretty close to on the money there, but you got to be careful throwing something like that. Get too much air under it and can go back the other way on you.
Yeah, and Tabscott probably rushed that throw maybe just a little bit on Pfeiffer, the Tennessee receiver. He kind of had to reach out a little bit more than he had to, and I think that's what caused the incompletion right there, intended for Josh Pfeiffer, the junior. So
it'll be Pfeiffer in the slot on that far side. Richard Bryant, far side as well. Erdman in the slot on this near side with Christian Smith as well. 4 receivers, 9:45 to go, fourth quarter. Tabscott is going to run with it again. Tabscott past the 30 to the 25. DC Tabscott trying to will his Irish offense into the red zone. Close, not quite. Tackled at the 23-yard line, but another first down for the Irish. 9:36 to go, fourth quarter.
If you're probably Coach Tavo at this point, pretty much maybe try to continue these quarterback draws because he's apparently like seeing the open field right now.
Tabscott throws far side, ill-advised pass, incomplete, nearly picked off. A very dangerous pass. That was Raquillan Williams, the junior, number 39. Almost some defense there for Father Ryan to tip it away. I couldn't catch which receiver that was for the Irish, but almost have to be playing defense of sorts on that play to try and thwart the interception.
Yeah, and Tabscott threw it behind his intended receiver, Josh Pfeiffer, and he was lucky for him that it was not picked off and probably maybe taken the other way, maybe for big yardage.
JP2 28, Father Ryan 10. 1st and 10 for the Irish, or 2nd and 10, and it's a sack. So JP2 brings the heat and brings down Tabscott. Jacob Land. Hard hit by Land. And so the ball, they'll say, at the 31-yard line. So a 7-yard loss on the sack. 3rd and 17. Less than 9 minutes to go, fourth quarter. JP2 28, Father Ryan 10. 4 receivers on this 3rd and long. Tabscott's going to run it again. He'll get it to close to the 25-yard line of the night, so picked up some of that yardage.
Yeah, Jack Tyre on one of the guys that got there for the tackle. And DC has done well with that quarterback draw play for Father Ryan.
Well, this could be it right here for this Father Ryan offense. 4th and 11 from the 25. They have to get down to inside the 14-yard line of the Knights. It's a problem with the snap. Tabscott's going to get sacked, and it's going to be a turnover on downs. The 8:21 mark of the fourth quarter, JP2 up 28-10 gets possession of the ball.
And John Martinez on that play. I think what happened was probably a little bit of a snap problem. I think either DC was probably trying to make a protection check or possibly maybe change the play, and I think probably the center for Father Ryan probably maybe like heard a clap sound, and he assumed it was DC coming for the ball, and DC didn't realize until the last second that the ball was behind him.
8:21 to go, fourth quarter. JP2 28, Father Ryan 10. The Knights with the ball at their own 42-yard line. 15 seconds on the play clock, and as usual, they'll look to the sideline. They'll do that whether the game clock's running or not, and it's stopped in this case after the turnover on downs. So it's an H-back to that wide side. A little trouble with the snap. Watts is going to keep it himself. He'll be dropped for a 2-yard loss. So both teams a little bit of issues with snaps here in the last couple of moments.
Yeah, well, at least this one was not as disastrous as what happened on the last one, but a little bit of a low snap right there for JP2. But nice awareness though by Watts to was able to get it and secure the ball rather than fumbling it.
The clock runs 7:50 and counting, fourth quarter. JP2 28, Father Ryan 10. Jack Ottman goes to the sideline, maybe in for blocking purposes on the last play for JP2. He's able to move Haggerty in an H-back roll on the near side to try and open a hole for Roberts, and he gets swallowed up by Heron. Heron doesn't have a very large frame, or he's got a big frame, but not very tall. It can get tough to get low on him. Good stop on Roberts there by Heron.
An injury timeout. And see, what I'm talking about is probably maybe that cramping. And like I said, even in the second half of these hot and humid conditions, like you said. But if you're JP2, you're probably just thinking it's just probably might be a cramp because of the humidity. So it looks like I think it's Brooks Haggerty that's down on the field.
So it looks like they're stretching out hamstring. Maybe it looks like a cramp. That's what you typically. Right, it's 84 degrees right now. I mean, it's 9:31. Central time, local time. So they've been out here for. Kickoff was moved back 15 minutes because of the heat index. You were talking about it before. I didn't realize that was something I'm glad they do because player safety is important, and it's that hot. It's just not always the safest situation. Still was 89 degrees at kickoff. It was just a hot, unseasonably hot sweltery day. I feel like I'm back in Tampa again. It was summertime. I love Tampa. It's been 5 great years down there, but those summers would be punishing. So we're getting a little bit of feel for that in this one. So good to see Haggerty able to walk off the field on his own power. And typically that is a cramp, you see. I don't want to speculate too much, but it looks like it's okay. I'm trying to communicate that. So it'll be 3rd and 11 for JP2. They lead 28-10, 7 minutes, 30 seconds to go, fourth quarter. Quick opportunity here to talk about Father Ryan's upcoming schedule next week at Brentwood Academy. Last word, Brentwood Academy was down at the half, 14-7 against Whitehaven. Then in 2 weeks, homecoming, Germantown from out in the Memphis area. They're coming to town. Then it's at Ensworth, a bye, at McCauley. Lipscomb comes here. Trent Dilfer will be on campus. At Knox Catholic to close the regular season, and that's on November 1st. So now 3rd and 11, 7 minutes, 19 seconds to go, fourth quarter. JP2 28, Father Ryan 10. They'll wind the clock, 10 seconds on the play clock. Rory White goes in motion to the far side. Watts has got to run with it, designed QB keeper, spun around by Jackson Brown, got out for a second. He stopped for at most a no gain, maybe a half-yard loss depending on the spot.
And that was also a nice play by Jackson Brown, the first guy to get there, and was able to tackle the quarterback for probably not a gain, probably no more than a yard or no gain at all, really.
6:45 and counting, fourth quarter. JP2 28, Father Ryan 10. It appears the Knights of JP2 are going to be set to punt. 20 seconds and counting on the play clock so they can take their time to get set up. As Riley Zahn, the senior punter. Less than 10 seconds to go in the play clock. 6:23 and counting on the game clock. The Irish are down by 18 points. Time is not on the Irish's side at this point. A clean snap, no pressure brought by the Irish. A high spiraling punt, fair catch called for and made at the 35-yard line by Parker Erdman. So Father Ryan down by 3 possessions. They have 6 minutes, 10 seconds to go. They have 2 timeouts. The ball at their own 30-yard line. Think about how it was at halftime, a tight game. Father Ryan coming out very strong to start the second half, but then JP2 able to establish the run, the long pass downfield. Some big plays for the Knights in this second half. And unless Father Ryan can find a way to score 18 or more points in the next 6 minutes, 10 seconds of game time, for the 4th consecutive year, it will be JP2 winning the Bishop's Cup. Irish can go 4 receivers to start this 1st and 10 from their own 30. DC Tapp's got the junior quarterback in the gun. High throw complete.
Oh.
Josh Pfeiffer, nice catch at midfield. Got hit in the ribs. It was a clean play. Good catch, though. That moves the chains to the Irish. Temporarily stops the clock at 6:03.
And that was a nice play by Pfeiffer, not only to make the catch, but also have that toughness to survive the impact and without jarring the ball loose.
On 1st and 10, rolling to the near side, Tabscott directing traffic. Incomplete, intended for Christian Smith, but he was out of bounds. It was a hard hit on that last play, though. Jackson Cook, strong safety coming in there. Clean play. Pfeiffer was okay, but after it was just an impressive hit. On this play, though, incomplete, 2nd and 10, stops the clock, 5:48 to go, 4th quarter. JP2 28, Father Ryan 10. So with the game clock stopped, the Irish can talk things over. 22 seconds on the play clock. 2nd and 10 from the Irish 49-yard line. Bryant, the lone receiver to the far side. He trips to the near side. Christian Smith. They're going to send Jaden Robinson in motion to the near side. Receiver screen past the 50 to the 45. Close to, fumbled the ball, but it went out of bounds. So not a turnover, but we'll see where they spot the ball. He was close to the first down marker. I don't think he got there.
Yeah, I think they're going to mark the spot where he fumbled it.
The spot at the 43-yard line of the Knights. 5:40 to go, 4th quarter. JP2 leads Father Ryan 28-10.
But that was a nice play by Jane Robinson, not to bounce it to the outside, and again, the Irish catch another break, able to survive, and they cannot afford any more turnovers from here on out.
3rd and 2, 5:40 to go. Handoff, Jaden Robinson runs into a wall. 2 or 3 defenders there. An interior defensive line for the Knights stymies the run, and now Father Ryan's looking at a 4th down. About a 1.5-yard loss.
Well, you could pretty much. The defense knew it was coming when the Jaden Robinson run, and now this is 4th and pretty much the ball game right here.
4th and 4, 5:16 to go, 4th quarter. Irish down by 18. A throw. Receiver falls down. It's a penalty, so Father Ryan's going to get a 1st down.
Yeah.
Christian Smith got knocked down. And so Father Ryan, by way of penalty, will get a 1st down at the 5:09 mark of the 4th quarter, down 28-10.
Yeah, the interference against JP2. We saw a shove, and Christian Smith does a nice job, even though he was shoved. And I don't know how much honestly he got shoved, but he did a nice job of selling it, and was able to get a flag as a result of it.
And moves the chains by hook or by crook. The Irish are down by 18, and time is running low. 5:09 to go, 4th quarter. 28-10, JP2 with the lead, but the Irish 1st and 10 from just outside of the 30-yard line, or right at the 30. Nose the ball on the 30 of the Knights on this near hash. 4 receivers, 2 bunched up on this near side, and Jaden Robinson, the running back. Tabscott looks right for the sideline, complete. Threads the needle, not a 1st down.
Not moving the chains.
Yeah, Aiden Nelson. Nelson brings in, they will say a 1st down. They should stop the clock. It's continuing to run. They haven't set the chains yet, but now they have. Less than 4:55 to go, 4th quarter. Irish are down by 18 points. Tabscott throws over the middle. Incomplete, intended for Richard Bryant.
Yeah, it was kind of a risky throw right there by Tabscott. He knew that Timothy Lark was there, but kind of a dangerous pass. And again, the Irish catching a break, and lucky that was not another interception.
4:48 to go, 4th quarter. JP2 28, Father Ryan 10. In this Division II AAA, TSSAA varsity football game, the Bishop's Cup on the line. And it appears, unless the Irish can make a remarkable comeback down by 3 scores with less than 5 minutes to go, that the Knights will retain the Bishop's Cup. 4 receivers again, 2 bunched up near side with Erdman in the slot, and Nelson, the freshman, out wide. It's going to be Tabscott trying to run with it. Past the 15, close to the 1st down, goes out of bounds, stops the clock at the 4:37 mark. And we'll see where they spot it. So that'll move the chains, or they'll move the chains away from the sideline. 1st and goal for Father Ryan. The clock is moving, though, so Father Ryan needs to be aware and get to the line. 4:29 and counting. 1st and goal from the 9. JP2 leads 28-10. Father Ryan trips receivers to the near side. I believe that's Brian over to the far side. Erdman in the slot, and they'll send Robinson near side for that receiver screen, incomplete. And that could have been ruled a lateral pass. We're looking at it from an angle, but incomplete the call.
Yeah, it was Father Ryan yet again catches another break, because they got lucky there. That was not a backward pass, and if it probably was, it probably maybe picked up for a scoop and score.
It could have been, but at this point, Father Ryan's facing enough adversity as it is with an 18-point deficit and only 4 minutes and 14 seconds to go. Irish with 2 timeouts. But first things first, they got to punch it in here on this 2nd and goal from the 9, ball at the far hash of the Knights. And again, Tabscott in that familiar shotgun formation, this time a 3-receiver look with an extra blocker in. Throwing for the corner of the end zone, Richard Bryant, touchdown Irish.
That was a nice play by Bryant to turn around and was able to catch it in the front of the end zone and also kept inside in bounds and got it for the touchdown. And now extra point here, 4:10 left. This term is down by 11 now.
It's 28-16 JP2, and it'll be Wisnowski apparently attempting the extra point. And that would make it an 11-point game, which is the smart play here because a field goal and a touchdown with a 2-point conversion would tie it up.
Yeah.
Extra point is up
Very good.
and good. So it's interesting now for Father Ryan. It's 28-17. JP2 has the lead. 4 minutes, 10 seconds to go. Father Ryan has 2 timeouts. I would think they might look at an onside kick here. Not for sure. But you would figure at this point, just with the sheer reality of the time, you've got to try and go for it. You know that JP2 is going to be playing, anticipating it. But I'll tell you what, a couple weeks ago that Wisnowski had an onside kick attempt that Father Ryan wasn't able to recover, but it did the classic 2 bounces and the third up in the air. Not easy to pull off, not easy to execute. So Father Ryan now, it's a 2-possession game, but down by 11, 4:10 to go. But they first things first is what they needed. They got that touchdown. Bryant in the corner, like you noted. It was a nice design play that turned that hook near the far side pylon there. And so the touchdown to Bryant, the extra point from Wisnowski makes it 28-17. Pope John Paul II High School leading Father Ryan High School. It'll be on the near hash where they're going to spot the ball for the kickoff, and Wisnowski. And from the looks of it, Father Ryan's thinking onside kick. JP2 is thinking onside kick prevent. And the rule is you can't touch the ball if you're the kicking team before it goes 10 yards. The defenders can touch it, and once they do, it's fair game. Takes that bounce, a high bounce, but it'll be JP2 jumping on the ball. Didn't quite go the full 10 yards, so it'll be Knight's ball at the 49. A good try, though. That was pretty well executed. Just it's tough. You're trying for a lucky bounce at that point with an onside kick, and did not go the Irish way. So it'll be Knight's ball at the Irish 49-yard line. 4:09 to go, fourth quarter. JP2 28, Father Ryan 17.
Yeah, for Father Ryan, you're pretty much trying to do anything that you can to try to stay in this game.
Out of the pistol formation with 17 seconds in the play clock, it'll be Sawyer Watts, the quarterback. And with that very, very powerful, dangerous running back, number 44, Antoine Roberts, standing behind him. They'll bring Keaton in motion to this near side. Hand off to Roberts, pushing through. Antoine Roberts stopped at about the 44-yard line, about a 5-yard gain. It may depend on the spot. But the clock rolls, less than 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, Antoine Roberts, he has probably been one of their best players in tonight's game. Just success in running the ball is pretty much right now. Success in running the ball has been JP2's game. So other than that, can't say anything much. But
well, it's JP2 up 28-17. JP2 3:34 and counting. The Knights letting the play clock run down now to 10 seconds on this 2nd and 5. Handoff. Antoine Roberts has the first down. Past the 35 to the 30, finally taken out of bounds by an Irish defender, but that moves the chains for JP2. 3:19 to go, fourth quarter. The Knights up by 11.
Yeah, and you probably can't stress out enough the night that Antoine Roberts has had tonight and success in running the football. So I'm probably not shocked if JP2 probably is going to continue with this because Roberts has had probably one of the best games of his life right now.
He's had some good ones. He's been a prolific running back for him, make no mistake. And again, only a junior. And it was really impressive to me when I saw him get that head of steam behind him. That's where he gets really tough. He's got that size. So with 6 seconds in the play clock, 2:51 to go on the game clock, another handoff, Antoine Roberts. 2 or 3 Irish defenders finally bring him down. But more importantly for JP2, it keeps the clock moving. 2:40 and counting. JP2 leading Father Ryan 28-17. We see Marcus Kennedy Holtz into the game as Torrey Herron comes to the side. They're both sophomores. They've got some young but very large linemen that play both sides of the ball for the Irish. Most of them played quite a bit last year as well, too, so some nice experience for them despite their relatively young age. 2:15 and counting, 14 seconds on the play clock. JP2 28, Father Ryan 17, 2nd and 7 from the Irish 24-yard line. And surprise, surprise, it's Antoine Roberts running. Breaks a tackle or two. Finally brought down the, stayed in bounds. Tackled near the 10, or let's say the 12, so not first and goal, but a minute 59 will be counting as soon as they move the chains and spot the ball. So with 31 seconds to go on the play clock, a minute 54 to go on the game clock, as we see Kennedy Holt come to the sideline for Father Ryan. The Knights can take their time, 20 seconds on the play clock, 1:45 to go on the game clock, fourth quarter, JP2 28, Father Ryan 17. It's 2 receivers, H-back and a tight end, blocking for Roberts. Roberts spun around, maybe a 4 or 5 yard gain, maybe more. It's tough to tell at this angle. But he stayed in bounds, and the clock continues to run. Father Ryan has 2 timeouts, but at this point, Irish are opting not to use it. So second and 6 for JP2, a minute 13 and counting, 2nd and 4 from the 8. They would need to get to the Irish 3-yard line. And with 21 seconds and counting, JP2 can continue to stall. Reach the 1 minute mark of the fourth quarter, 15 seconds in the play clock. They can be down like 46, 47 seconds if they're so inclined. And they'll bring Keaton in motion to this near side. Handoff Antoine Roberts up the middle. Didn't get the first down, gained a couple of yards, but the clock continues to run 40 seconds and counting. The play clock, unless Father Ryan calls a timeout, the play clock is 1 second ahead of the game clock, so the game clock will hit 0 before the play clock. Father Ryan might, with 2 timeouts but no time left, realistically, it's 3rd and short, and the clock's going to tick down 20 seconds on the game clock, and just now 20 seconds on the play clock. So it'll be for the 4th consecutive year, Pope John Paul II High School defeating Father Ryan in football. And they'd only done twice before this string started, so it's going to be some bitter disappointment for the Irish. They played hard, valiant effort, and it hits 000 on the scoreboard. So Pope John Paul II High School 28, Father Ryan High School 17. And the Irish fall to 1-3 next week, play at Brentwood Academy. So get the handshakes line. I know there was some heated back and forth. You're going to get that in a rivalry game. Get that with young athletes out there battling, but a good effort made by both sides. Ultimately, though, JP2 just too much, able to get the win. Anything else, Tyler?
Well, I must say that Antoine Roberts probably had a nice game tonight for JP2, and Matthew Zito, he surprising as the injury to his either hand or wrist seemed, he actually did a nice job tonight playing through it. And obviously probably not a start you want if you're Father Ryan. Obviously 4 straight years that JP2 has won the Bishop's Cup. But I feel like now that we're getting a little bit deeper into the following schedule, this is now a chance for Father Ryan to learn some new things, fix what had happened for tonight's game, and fix those mistakes and treat them and make sure. And I know they're going to do well in game at BA. And for the rest of the schedule, it's going to be a tough schedule. Nothing comes easy, you know.
And that's by design. And that's what Coach Rector talked about it before the season. You got at Brentwood Academy 2 weeks from tonight, though. The next home game is homecoming. Germantown from West Tennessee comes here, but Germantown's a very strong program as well. You got at Ensworth. Ensworth, of course, tough every year and out. Bye. To get a week to rest up. Then at McCallie, who beat BA at BA for the 2nd consecutive year earlier this season. Lipscomb Academy comes here. That's the the second of 2 remaining non-region games, or Division II AAA games, Trent Dilfer and company. And then at Knox Catholic on November the 1st, and what will be the final regular season game for this Irish football team. So your final score, Pope John Paul II High School 28, Father Ryan High School 17. We'll see you 1 week from tonight from Brentwood Academy's campus as the Irish go to Brentwood Academy in their next Division II AAA battle. Thanks for watching. This has been Father Ryan Football on ATW Sportscast.